It was probably one of the most unexpected, like, fun moments in D&D I've had anyway, is the Heat Miser breaking out into
Yeah,
song
what the hell is that? That was interesting.
I was not expecting that at all. I was like, shit. Guess we're just waiting on Justin to get back. He said he was boiling water or something like that. Like,
What?
because he's making dinner. He's like, I
Oh,
asked him what he was doing. He's like, I'm making dinner. I said, well, are you getting in here? And he said, what? I said, D&D. He said, oh, I forgot.
yep, there it is. I'll be right back.
Has Cliff been grizzled enough to be Fat Thor picture now, or not?
No, I don't know. Maybe. Well, it has certainly been a few weeks. I don't even remember exactly the date of the last session.
River, how was the game, man?
It was all right.
It was all right. I heard that last 2 minutes was pretty intense.
There was gonna be fucking riots. I'm sure.
Oh, if they lost that game,
I'm sure they always
like,
dampen the
riots in the
crowd for the broadcast, so I guarantee you couldn't hear the entire fucking stadium yelling "kick the ball."
No, no, you could.
Yeah,
You could hear it.
If you could hear it, just imagine how loud it was in person.
Yeah.
That whole stadium was mauling when they kept running it.
Okay, but here's the thing. No.
Here's the thing.
Taylor's
you're telling
strategy.
me, but no, you're telling me in what world that they reasonably expected the Chiefs to get a touchdown with 40 seconds on the clock and no
Dude, it's
timeouts.
Patrick Mahomes. Anything's possible. That guy's a whiz kid.
But yet they risked it going into overtime instead of just kicking the ball.
Okay, but it's a calculated risk, and I think that Taylor's, if he's the one who made the call, I'm sure it was, his thought process is, in order to be great, you have to be willing to take these risks. Like, you can't, like if you're gonna be a Super Bowl winning team, you've got to be willing to make those tough decisions sometimes, and not always take the conservative approach.
Well, all I'm saying is it was the Chiefs' game to lose, and they definitely lost it, and the refs won it for the Bengals.
So what was the penalty? Like, what happened?
I think it was holding both times.
Like defensive holding.
Mm-hmm. But the big one was at the end of the second quarter where they overturned the touchdown.
Well, one in the game was that UC lost, so Travis Kelce and Patrick, who was at the game, got too drunk.
Right.
I still can't believe OSU was looking a little scary.
Oh, that was a fun game. That was a very entertaining game last night.
Back-to-back answers. Dude, that freaking... Oh, God. The kickoff returner for... what's his name? That Corby guy? What was his name? What game was that?
Yeah,
Kobe, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Oh, yeah. Because he was the tight end as well.
Yeah.
And
he's caught a couple touchdowns, returned one.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be Did you see him slam his helmet down after they told him he couldn't go back? He needed to go into the tent?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so he hurts his ankle or whatever, and he's like, tries to walk it off, but he's clearly in pain. So they're like, all right, you gotta go in the medical tent. He gets pissed and he fucking slams his helmet on the ground, and then walks into the tent.
See, Antonio Brown is no longer with Tampa Bay after that.
What an absolute guy! Like, come on.
Yeah, he threw a tantrum.
Oh yeah,
undressed and threw his shit
takes his
off.
gear off, throws it on the ground, and then walks
Yeah,
off the
the head
field.
coach said he's done.
Yeah, they
that's
released
done.
them already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a clear. I mean, but honestly, that's probably what he wanted.
It's crazy though. He had such a
think-
good game last week. Like,
I know. The dude's just dumb. Like the head coach Tampa Bay said,
A football
them
player
picking them
dumb?
up.
No.
If he acts out one time, they were releasing him. And he didn't hold
Well, I
true to
mean,
that earlier.
surely the
but
NFL is going to fine him for that behavior, right? Like, come
yeah,
on.
they're looking into it
Wait,
apparently.
what happened? I didn't watch the game.
So, well, this is a different game.
This is
so
a less
the Bucks
important game that no one cares
Antonio
about.
Brown, who is an absolute dickhead just generally and always
Yeah,
has been.
He's a menace.
I don't even know what the exact situation was, but apparently the Bucks were not playing well, so so he took off his shoulder pads and threw them on the ground and walked off the field
And what's hilarious?
in the middle of a game
the Bucks still won.
to win.
That's great.
Imagine,
Yeah, kind of proving that they don't fucking need you anyway.
imagine you have
Mr.
the
Brown.
GOAT on your team and you just quit mid-game. What a fucking idiot! You have a free ride.
Yep, he could have a Super
Does
Bowl
anyone
ring.
know why he threw a tantrum?
I don't know.
It's all the CT in his brain. All football players are
Probably.
retarded.
mush brain.
Yeah,
Mush brain.
been hit too many times.
All right, well, I think we've waited long enough, so
I'm here. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we can
I hear
hear
you.
you.
No,
That's what I mean.
We just forgot you were here.
No,
oh yeah, we just forgot, just like you forgot that it was Sunday. But
Daenerys just kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm still mad.
Antonio Brown
You can't
forgot
even be
that he
mad
was
at
supposed
that.
to be
It's just
professional.
so that you just realized the final season was just a comedy at that point, Spencer. That's the key.
I could rant about that for the whole session, so I'll stop.
Yeah, probably shouldn't even start. But all right, well, welcome back, everybody.
Thank you.
We were fortunate enough to be able to squeak in a holiday one-shot.
It was
That-
terrible. Don't watch it.
It was okay. Well, to everyone's credit, everyone was getting a little cranky because we were up till like 4 a.m. But I still think at least the first half was amazing.
Last year's was better, not even close.
Well, I mean, you can't really compare.
Just stop at the break and then we'll finish it next year. How about that?
Finish it next year. But
Just like Game just
we're
stop
moving on
it.
with the main campaign finally after about a month
I
hiatus.
mean, the party just forgot about Santa Claus.
The party's probably forgotten where the hell we are.
We're fighting
main
a giant.
campaign.
He's on
Now that we're on
roids.
session 13.
He drank the black goo and he got angry.
After
No,
we royally
angry.
beat his ass in a 1v2.
After I took a very hard
Later
beating.
kept getting fucking smashed into
I
the
mean,
ground.
you're a great tank. You did amazing.
Thank you. I tanked like 70 something
Amazing.
damage.
While Dorian danced around and ran away like a prissy bitch.
No, I'm
Oh,
glad he did because he did the damage and I
Yeah,
could just.
if
all
I
could do was
if I lost Fairy Fire, it would have been big no-no because I can't remember, but he had like a high AC or something.
And now we gotta fight him as a group.
My
After you drink the
that's the question. Is this like still the same fight or is this a different fight?
No, so this is a different fight.
So
but
has Fairy Fire and Haste dropped? Is the question.
yes. So the only thing
Point
that
of
hasn't
exhaustion
dropped,
for Dorn.
the only thing that hasn't dropped is
I don't think I
the-
get exhaustion.
From haste, you do.
No, I think it's
No,
something
so
else.
that has also worn off.
Yeah, I think I'm just
the
like
exhaustion.
stunned or something. I don't think you get exhaustion.
No, you get
The
a point of
exhaustion-
exhaustion.
No.
You get stunned.
You don't get a point of exhaustion. You
Not
are
anymore?
simply
When the spell
Oh,
ends, the
yeah,
target
you
can't
become-
move or take action until its next turn.
Yep,
That's it?
stunned.
Yeah,
Dude, haste
Done.
is amazing.
yeah. It's just
Matt, okay, so Matt in Critical Role, he makes it where you get a point of exhaustion with it. I
It's
thought.
because haste is broken. But you still have the creature Hexblade Cursed. You still have the Stone Giant Hexblade Cursed, and Lear still
I still have
has
my-
his final charge of his symbiotic entity.
Yep,
on
I got
as
20
well.
temp health.
But other than that, the bless that Cliff had on everyone has faded. The
Papa Bliss.
Fairy Fire has faded, and the haste
Fairy
has
fighter.
faded.
When did we get a fairy fighter on the?
I mean,
on the
I
party?
got that if I can.
You want one? I got one.
Not right
Pulls it
now,
out
though.
of
I
his
don't have it
pocket.
ready.
Quick recap for any peanut gallery, since it has been so long. You guys entered the Stone Giant camp via Lorgath, Mountain Walker, who
Yeah.
helped you enter.
After
You
fighting 3
entered
manticores,
with
remember?
right Polyphemus.
Paul helped.
The Cyclops helped you guys out and entered the Stone Giant camp with you. You approached Varafal Stonecleaver, the leader of the Stone Giants, who became angry at your presence
Asshole.
and decided that you must pass a test in order to remain there. He set you up against Goliath,
First he set
a
up
Stone
against
Giant warrior
a boulder.
who fought you valiantly and surrendered. However, this angered Varafal, and when Goliath attempted to leave, he was accosted by several other stone giants who force-fed him some strange liquid type
This is
potion.
not good.
is.
This is not
Strength to
good.
go.
He has since gone mad and is wildly swinging his club and is moving back towards all of your directions. And so, as this happens, I need everyone to
Say it.
roll initiative.
That's all the way to start the new year. Love it.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah, there we
Get a
go.
+10.
Oh. Do I still have inspiration from Cliff or no?
Bardic
Oh,
Inspiration, if you
Yeah.
hadn't used your Bardic Inspiration, then yes, you still have that.
Sweet. Okay. I do have that in my notes. What about Paul?
Alright.
Paul's in this. Don't
Yes,
forget
he
his
is.
initiative.
And Paul will roll initiative. Side note, because the Christmas holiday has transpired, I
Why is it
thankfully
still-
have some additional metal dice to throw around. So
Spencer, why
fun.
is it still Heat Miser when on your roll thing?
I don't know. On my screen it says
I like it.
it says Mike. It says Cliff, and then
That's
That's
Cliff for
Heat
me.
miser.
that's Cliff when he gets angry.
Yeah.
I changed my picture and my
Two nat
name.
ones on initiative. Gee,
Yeah, and I got a 3.
a 26. That's pretty
So
good.
did Dorn. Me and Dorn both got 3.
I mean, that's Cliff
Oh.
when he's fully devout to
Manual entry.
Lady Firecrotch.
Ooh, yeah.
Paul.
Nice.
We'll roll Paul's initiative here.
What's he get?
Hi,
Paul
I'm
got a
Paul.
natural 1
Hi, I'm Paul.
on initiative.
Come on, Paul.
guys-
Get with it.
You guys are just, and that's
We're
a
ready.
+0 for him, so he just gets a straight up 1.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh boy.
we'll add him to the initiative, and then we roll for Mr.
bottom.
Corrupted Stone
Someone
Giant.
remind me if this stone giant has any metal on him.
No,
doesn't.
no metal.
No.
But he had like
No nose ring.
yeah, but he had like an 18 armor
They,
class
they
or
wear
something.
they wear leathers and stone.
He has a golden cock ring.
Hell yeah.
Can I see
Make
it?
that thing glow.
It's yeah.
Well, DM, does he?
Jesus.
Hold on. Rolling for cock ring. Oh, sorry guys. He
I
doesn't
didn't
have
hear
a
any
cock
dice roll. You have to do that again.
he rolled a natural 20 for not having a cock ring.
So, Dorn, you don't have Fairy Fire anymore, right? This is your.
Right, no fairy fire, but I will. For those of you with, I believe there are some of you with more than 15 or more passive perception.
Yeah, I do. That's
I have
17.
15.
Yeah, you can see that
I have 15.
Goliath in this enraged state is
Mad.
recklessly tossing things around. It seems he's going to have a easy time hitting you, but you may have just as easy of a time hitting him.
Good.
Wow.
He's raging around like a barbarian. Or something.
Wow.
Rage. He's
Wow.
still
Okay, and so
Stone
first
Giant
up,
in a ring.
to start the new year, to start session 13, we have the Time Wizard, Novus.
Somebody's gonna die.
What do you
First spell of the
do
year.
as the chaos around you begins to culminate?
Fireball.
I mean,
Excellent.
It's always an option. Always an option.
All right,
Send
fireball.
that shit.
So you're fireballing Mr. Goliath.
What a way
So-
to start the new year.
with a
Fireball.
with a bang. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a deck save. What's the
It's
natural
15.
one? Natural one. I'm throwing this dice away. Chelsea,
Dice? Oh, dice.
this dice you got me suck ass.
It's cursed.
I'm throwing them away.
You gotta
Two
break it
natural ones in a
in.
row. I can't. I'm not lying. 2 natural ones in a row.
You gotta break it in.
The fuck?
Hope
Yeah, I'm breaking it in.
big damage.
But to be
Right.
fair, it's rolled 2 natural ones and a natural 20, so
Sounds like you got weighted
yeah,
dice.
it's a little weird.
That was
25
a really
damage?
shitty fireball.
That
Hey,
is
still 25
that's
damage.
not fantastic, but so
That's
he
full damage at
the
least.
raging stone giant Goliath takes the fireball directly onto the chest, and you can see the singed and the burnt hair and everything in the aftermath, and he's still just coming straight at you. He seems unfazed, although he does take
I just
some
hear the
damage.
Alex Jones. He's coming.
Oh, boy, he's coming.
I only get one action.
Oh, Lord, he coming.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's how
bonus
D&D
action.
works.
Okay.
And movement.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
And a bonus
Been a
action.
while.
No,
Zenzar.
you don't get to do
Man,
that.
I can't use my Pearl of Power because it takes an
Does
action.
Skelly have his own initiative?
Skelly
Mine
goes
follows
after
mine.
him.
Okay,
It just goes
follows.
after
Okay.
Lear.
All pets
I'm gonna move
go
right
after the
And I am my
Besides conjure animals.
All right,
Either
moving
way.
behind Paul. Very nice.
I want to
Is
see
that your turn?
Paul WWE suplex this guy.
Well, it'll be a while.
All
You
right,
hurt my friends.
so
Came
he's
out of
up
nowhere.
next. All right, yeah. He's gonna move.
Not Paul.
Holy!
So he runs towards all of you, and he picks up a large rock from his
Me.
side and chucks it straight at Paul. And so that's gonna be an attack roll.
If he rolls a natural one, Paul should catch it and be able to throw it back.
No, I switched dice. That is a dirty 20. So that is definitely gonna hit Mr. Paul. That's gonna be
Paul's got a lot of HP though, right?
He looks hardy.
26 bludgeoning damage.
That face when a rock does more
So
than your
Paul-
fireball.
What if he hits him in the head with the rock and Paul becomes smart?
And Paul's gotta make a strength save.
Or
Paul's
die
good.
immediately. He gets concussion. Passes
5
out.
plus 6, 11. That's not enough. And Paul gets this rock chucked square at his face, and he ends up falling back on to his back. And he's now prone.
Oh god, did he fall on me?
Yes.
No, not
you are
quite.
dead.
But you have run behind Paul, seeking safety, and all of a sudden, boom! He gets hit by a rock and nearly falls back onto you.
Hey Paul. Hey Billy.
That hurt.
I hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt.
That's hey Ron. Hey
And
Billy.
that is his turn. So Lear,
Boy.
you're up next.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
5, 10, 15, 20,
Lear,
25,
do the
30.
thing.
I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at second level on him.
That wasn't the thing, but okay.
Okay. And that's a what kind of save is that? Con.
Con save, yeah.
On.
All right, that is a 20.
Yeah, he passes. Takes half damage.
Okay.
So he takes 4 or 5. I don't know. I always forget.
We round up 5.
All right. Again, the moonbeam comes down,
Yes.
kind of shrugs it off completely, and even more than normal. He just seems completely unfazed. His focus is on the battle in front of him, not any pain he might be experiencing, if any.
And then bonus action Chalet, just because.
All right, might as well.
That'll be my
Okay.
turn.
All right, Rashidar, we're on to you.
Oh,
hold on.
boy.
Skelly. makes
Oh yeah,
a
Skelly. That's true.
long short
So,
bow attack.
Don't forget
short bow attack.
Skelly's a
All right,
rogue.
make an attack roll.
Yeah, he's a rogue, so
Make an
Sneak
attack
attack.
roll. He does have advantage.
okay, didn't roll with advantage. Hold on. Hold on.
Roll again.
Okay, 20.
That hits.
Yes. 1d6 plus 2. Wow. 3 damage. Good job, Skelly.
He just thumbs up.
And he's going.
He plinks a little arrow. It sort of embeds itself about maybe a half-inch into the giant's chest,
Yes.
seemingly unfazed.
And then I'll
Rashider.
move him up here. That's my turn.
Rashider, onto you. Having been forced to be passive in the last battle, the time is now.
Time is up.
Time
My
is
time's now.
Heavy crossbow. I'm gonna shoot him.
All right.
All right. And you do have advantage.
I do have advantage. That doesn't help.
That does not hit. You fire your heavy crossbow, and you miss the flesh of the creature, and you instead hit the leather, stone-laden clothing that the giant's wearing, and the bolt just bounces off, shattering into dust.
Right. Bonus action dash.
Okay.
20.
Run away, little
25.
girl.
I'll sit right there.
All right. Dorian, you're up.
Question.
Your blade, having feasted on the flesh and blood of the creature just prior, calls out to you, and you feel a warm sense of power growing. What do you do?
How tall is this guy?
He is a couple dozen feet tall.
So would you say he's over 20
At least
feet tall?
24.
Good question. I'm gonna say yeah. He's more than 20 feet tall.
Okay then, so I'll do this. I'm going to cast Hunger of Hadar. Let's see, it's a 20-foot sphere, so it goes 20 feet in the air as well. And I'm going to put it right, like on the... Golly gee willikers, I really wish we had like a, measuring tools in this thing you like using.
A 20 foot.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Trying to keep it from hitting loser.
Is it 20 feet in diameter or 20 feet? Okay, there you go. Just centered on him.
I want like it pushed out a little more between him and Paul, where he's still inside.
Like something like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll put it right there.
Okay, so let's see.
Alright, so does he need to do anything right now?
X save.
I'm trying to see. Let's see.
It might be on the start of his turn. Unless it's like Moonbeam. Just does damage immediately.
Hunger of Hadar.
Any creature that starts its turn, any creature that ends its turn.
But not
So,
immediately.
Not immediately, it seems. From what I'm seeing.
Any creature that starts its turn takes 2d6 cold damage. Any creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed on a dex save or take 2d6 acid damage.
Nice.
No light, magical, or otherwise can illuminate the area, and creatures fully within the area are blinded.
Yeah, which he's taller than it.
So it's like a cold jacuzzi.
I mean, he's
it's
not 20 feet tall. Like, if you wanted to completely enshroud him in this, then you could.
He's probably hunched over a little bit in a fighting stance as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So he's definitely lower than 20 feet. I just kind of Googled it. They're stone giants are like between 12 and 20, probably.
Okay.
So given that he's in a fighting stance and sort of running at you guys, I'd say that if you wanted to completely encapsulate him, you could.
Yeah, sure.
Blind him.
We'll do
Okay,
that.
so you're gonna put it like here. Okay, so now he is blinded while within it.
Okay. It's a concentration spell. Where's my fuck? The fuck concentration things.
Alright, cool.
And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's my turn.
Okay. And Cliff,
There's
now
still
being
like a.
forced to act.
Is there still like a crowd gathered?
No, they've walked away.
Many have walked away in seeming disgust. There are a few that are still watching in abject horror, and Varafel himself is still watching intently.
Maybe Cliff can get him to help us out.
I'm gonna try and get the crowd on the side a little bit. I'm gonna say, "Oh, this guy, he's a boulder. I'm gonna crush him. I'm gonna smash him into little pieces until he's groveling at my feet."
Brother.
And then I am gonna Tasha's
Nice.
hideous laughter in.
Okay.
Can you?
Very
Do you have
nice.
to be able to see the target to do Tasha's?
Just know where it's at. There's a difference.
I can have to see it. That ruined everything.
actually-
Well, either way, I
Ruined
tried to still
everything.
get
Still
the
say that.
crowd on my side.
Yeah, a creature of your choice that you can see. Damn.
Right back.
Yeah, I see it.
You
Well,
still say that, though.
Yeah. And then I'll just throw a shatter in that
In
area
there.
then. Yeah.
Okay. Alright, that is is it a con save?
Yep.
Okay, that is 15
That
total.
is the save, so
Okay.
he just takes half of that. But actually, no, they have. Is he made of stone?
I don't believe so.
So it's a creature made of an organic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has
No, so
disadvantage.
he's not
Okay.
made of stone.
He's not
But-
a golem.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I did want to ask, so what does everyone else see, Doran, when you cast this spell?
You just see, like, his shadow and other shadows around him just coalesce under his feet. And then slowly start rising up. Like these inky tendrils, almost like webs. You just slowly crawling up and wrapping around him until eventually you just see these black tendrils sticking out of this mass of darkness.
Almost like a prison of darkness and eldritch energy. Alright. Anything else, Cliff? You have your movement and a bonus action.
Yeah, I will bardically inspire Paul. Come on, man,
Okay.
get up. You can do it.
Alright, great.
And you can take this hit for me.
Very nice. Very nice.
The
Alright.
boulder is gonna get crushed into gravel.
Ooh.
Alright. And Paul's gonna say, "Well, thank you, friend." Ugh. And he'll stand up, using half his movement. And he's gonna say, Where'd he go?"
Back here, Paul. You got it.
And he picks up the same rock that was thrown at him,
Nice.
and he's gonna throw it into the darkened area here. And so because he can't see, but he would have
That's just a
advantage
straight
anyway.
roll.
It's just a straight roll, and so that's going to be a 17 to hit, which actually does hit. So
Nice.
that is going to be
It's my boy.
I knew you could do it.
I love Paul.
that's going to be 33. It's going to be
More than the 6 that I did.
as you hear a thud against someone in within that area. And then Paul is going to use his movement to move closer, but not enter the area. All right, and that's Paul's turn. And Novus, we're back at the top of the round with you.
Yeah, boy.
Hit him with 3 scorching rays.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
Come on.
throw in 3 scorching rays in there. So, make those all will be straight
Ooh.
rolls.
Natural
One's
20.
a natural
job.
20.
All right, so
That's my,
2 of
that's my boy.
those. The first 2 hit. The third one does not quite hit, to your knowledge.
Okay, 17.
But the first 2 do hit, so you can roll
Just
damage
respectable.
on the first one, and also roll the crit damage on the second one.
So 7 and
Second
12.
one's 7,
7,
12.
7 and 12. All right.
Not that bad.
Pretty damn good. Yeah.
And
one.
I was right.
And 6 on that one.
I'm gonna move back where I was.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So it's almost
then
like
I-
all 3 hit.
Boom,
Make
boom,
sure to
boom.
do a con save for him on the start of his turn.
Right. All right,
That's
so on
gotta
the
do
start of his
multiple
turn,
saves.
we got the moonbeam. And it's interesting how this works. The moonbeam coming down, the moonbeam is much taller than the Hunger of Hadar. And so you can see the moonbeam sort of shooting in towards the area here.
Area of dark necrotic energy. This disappears inside it. From what we see.
I'm kind of, yeah.
It doesn't cancel
Okay.
its effect,
Yeah. The spell just says that no light, magic, or otherwise can illuminate the area. Not that
Yeah,
the light
so it doesn't
disappears.
illuminate it, it just hits him.
So, con save, coming right up. That is just a 24.
Yeah, he saves. He takes 7 points of damage.
Radiant damage.
Okay, and so there's no save on the Hunger of Hadar spell, so you just roll the damage,
Which,
Dorian.
actually, I'm confused because it does say the spell itself doesn't
At
mention
the end of
anything
the
about.
turn, makes a dex save. Start of turn just rolls the first damage, the cold damage, I believe, right?
Yeah, it says
Oh,
any
yeah.
creature
Okay,
that
yeah, I
starts
see
its
that.
turn in the area takes 2d6 cold damage.
Okay, I see that part.
And then if it ends its turn there,
9.
takes the acid damage.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
9. 6 and a
okay.
3.
This is all difficult terrain to him.
Oh, is that how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Think of being in a dark, scary tunnel with like people pushing through.
And just
You know,
whispers of
just
Eldritch Horror
smacking
in
your
his
head.
ear.
Yeah.
He's already going mad. It's just additional voices.
20. Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so he's gonna walk up to old Paul here, and he's gonna start fucking swinging with his great club. Let's see here. Right, so 1. 21 to hit. That hits. I'll go ahead and roll the second one. That'd be a 27 to hit is the second one. So yeah, those both hit. And I will roll both of these.
Oh no!
All right, Paul is going to take a total. Did not roll very good on those, but Paul is still going to take a total of 41 damage.
I like Paul. Good job.
Lightweight.
And
MVP. MVP.
I'm glad we befriended him.
He's gonna be the dead VP here in a second.
then
They'll hit him with a healing word.
No, I will.
and then suddenly Goliath begins to start like retching up something. Like he
Gets
And
into Paul's mouth.
an
Paul ends up doing
explosion of bile exhales from his mouth in a cone towards Paul's direction as he becomes covered in this poisonous bile. And so Paul's got to make a con save,
Pass, Paul.
which
You got this,
he
Paul.
fails.
Oh, Paul.
So he's going to take an additional 27 poison
How
damage.
close was he? Can he use his bardic inspiration to pass it?
Oh,
Yeah.
So he rolled a natural 3, and he gets a
+8. Plus.
he gets a +5, so he'd have 8.
Ooh.
So there's no way even if he used
Okay.
the dice. So he will. I'll pretend
hold
he
on
knows
to it.
this, and he just won't use the dice. All right, and so that is the Stone Giant's turn. So Lear, you're up again.
Okay, bonus action, move the moonbeam on top of him. Takes another 2d10. Make con save.
Natural 20 for a 29 total.
Yep, so it's
Got it.
just 6 damage.
Okay.
And then I will use Chill Touch on him.
All right, roll to hit with advantage.
Because we can see him again.
26.
Roll again.
There you go. 29.
26, that hits.
Okay.
And necrotic damage, and he cannot heal.
Until the start of
His
the
next turn.
Until next turn.
And then 15, 20, 25, 30. And then Skelly will...
Charge.
Actually, Skelly will move... Yeah, he will. He'll put away his short bow, pull out the scimitar,
Oh god.
and flank him.
Skelly gets the last hit here this week.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
You just hear bones rattling.
All right, with advantage.
All right,
+1.
so that's a 8, but I think it's
You have advantage.
He already rolled with
He
advantage.
rolled 2d20.
Yeah, so he got 8 plus... What's the...
4, so 12.
You rolled an 8 and 2. Amazing.
Yeah,
13 with the
13.
with the flanking. He comes
That's not
up
even how
and
advantage
he
works. and
tries
you
to
still-
stab, and the sword does not even penetrate the thick, tough skin of the giant, and he pays no heed either. He's still focused.
If Skelly
intently on
dies
Paul.
here, can we turn this giant into the new Skelly?
He's not small enough.
He's not small. Okay, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, Rashider, you're up.
I try and shoot him again.
All right.
Do
Go for
it.
it with advantage.
Yeah. Sneak attack, boy. Come on.
Yeah, it's got to land.
Come on.
There we go.
Oh, that lands.
21 does hit.
All right.
He misses one attack and he gets so despondent.
You just got to not care. and that's when you actually
It's
start
in
landing.
character. It's in character.
Yeah. So
Wait a minute.
19.
I never miss.
Well,
All
that's
right, 19.
Miss.
Shitty
More like
sneak attack.
never.
More like never hit.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for you?
I'll move 5, 10, 15.
To be
I'll
fair,
move
as a
there.
rogue, if you miss your one attack, that does kind of suck. You don't have much else
That's
to do.
why you take have an extra attack.
Huh?
That's why you get extra attacks through multi-classing.
Yeah, it's like 5 levels of another class. You know how long that's
Crossbow
gonna be?
Crossbow
Well,
expert.
You bet. Yeah, you could take crossbow expert.
That still doesn't give me an extra attack as a
Yeah,
rogue.
you can
Yeah,
bonus action, extra attack.
I can
with
load
the
it, but I
hand
can't
crossbow.
fire.
yeah. Bonus action, extra attack with the hand crossbow. That's why everyone takes crossbow expert.
All right. If that's all you got, then we'll move on to Dorian here. The giant has escaped your spell.
Very smart for a raging, pus-filled giant. Very clever of him. So I'm gonna drop.
He could not see anything to kill, so he walked forward and
He didn't
Actually,
walk forward. He walked in a very particular angle, so he wouldn't still be in it. But that's neither here nor there. I am going
okay, so
to.
you're dropping it.
I'm going to drop it because I'm casting Hex as a bonus action. So I reach my hand out, and those tendrils shoot forward, back onto him, and just start wrapping around him instead of the oozy mass it was.
All right, and what attribute are you hexing?
Strength checks.
Okay.
And now I will Elrico Blast.
All right, 2 attack rolls, both at advantage. All right, those both hit.
Boom. Boom.
Then you gotta roll your hex.
Boom. Boom. So 24 damage.
What?
Get it, boy. Get it, boy.
All right. Boom, boom. And the tendrils of corruption that you've infested the giant with sort of absorb a portion of the force from the Eldritch Blast and amplify it as it sort of explodes off the giant's chest.
20. And that's it.
All right. Cliff, with your passive perception, you notice that the giant is now, in addition to the injuries that it sustained from the last fight, he is looking very, very injured. You surmise that most sentient creatures at this point would have collapsed from the sheer pain that this creature must be feeling right now. But you're up.
So you're saying I should make him laugh to death?
No, you're saying is
Right.
Skelly should be the one to get the final blow.
I'm just trying to disarm him a little bit. I'm just gonna say, I'm sorry, man. Sorry about the whole gravel thing. I don't think I'd like you as much as gravel. I'm not really a pebble person.
Cool.
And I will try to do Tasha's
Okay.
hideous laughter.
All right. What kind of save is that?
Wisdom.
Okay. Does a 13 save?
Nope.
All right.
prone
Well, he
idiot.
is going to use a charge of his legendary resistance to save anyway.
Automatically succeed.
I use my DM's inspiration to negate that.
Counter the legendary resistance.
All right. So that is that's one charge. Okay. Okay. So you tell your joke, and you can see like the classic edging of the smile coming up. But for whatever reason, the creature's rage tears through whatever laughter it may have obtained from that horrifying joke.
Does anybody in the
It's
crowd
still
laugh?
raging around. Oh yeah. There's a few. You can hear.
Worth.
Worth. All right. You still have your movement and bonus action.
I will go over here and say, Skelly, is that you?
Hey,
All right.
Oh,
And so Paul is up, and he's going to move more square with the stone giant and get him into a better position to swing some great club attacks.
Come on, Paul.
All right. Ooh. First one. Well, he does have advantage.
and +1.
Wow.
oh.
Okay, so that is a an 11 total.
Oof. Come on, Paul.
You guys are
Good
lucky.
together.
The first roll was a natural 1.
Maybe we should just kill Paul.
Get it.
It seems like he's a pushover.
Inspiration.
Okay. Okay, 15 plus 9. Yeah, so 24. That one definitely hits. And so that's going to be
He's inspired.
23, and he will go ahead and he will roll the Bardic Inspiration dice to add to the damage. Which he gets a 6.
Yeah.
So that is 29 damage total. All
Big
right.
old club.
Takes his great club, swings the first time, misses, but then comes up and almost hits him with like an uppercut maneuver right on the chin. You can now see that the jaw of the creature is completely dislocated and unhinged. But he's still up and fighting. That's it for Paul. Back at the top of the round. Novus, you're up.
Another scorching ray.
Okay.
Another
Three
one.
attacks. Another
They're at
one.
advantage.
Oh, they all have
Yes.
advantage?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, boy.
Advantage on all of them.
22.
9.
Jeez.
9. Oh, only one hit. Shit.
Double 9s. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, one hit.
Hmm.
At least one hit, so keep that in
Yeah.
mind.
As Paul comes up and sort of jars the creature upwards, one of the scorching rays goes underneath the legs, the other one over the shoulder, but the last one does hit directly in the chest.
7 damage.
Okay. All right. By this point, go ahead.
Constitution. Saving.
Any movement, any bonus action. You staying put, Novus?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'll stay where.
Okay. So con save first. It's an 18.
Yeah, he passes, so he takes 6.
This thing is very constitutionally sound.
Constitutionalized.
He's
Oh, yeah,
constitutional.
he's also no longer blinded. He wasn't blinded before either. So, all right. So his attention's still focused on Paul. He's going to go ahead
Paul.
and attack. I'll get that back. Okay. So first one. Is it natural or is that dirty 20? The second one is 27, so those both hit. Oh boy. All right. Well, Goliath, the now corrupted stone giant, takes his club and he swings once, boom, right across the side and almost impaling Paul in the side with the great impact. Comes up, brings the great club down, and smashes Paul's head inward. You can no longer see the eye or the stumpy head any longer. All that's left is a mass of blood and entrails as Paul falls to the ground.
You monster frisbee.
Monster frisbee.
It's not
What, he
fun.
doesn't get any death saves?
It's a monster. No. You can.
I don't think he
try
meant to
revive
kill him. I think he tried to.
I think he.
You think he pulled his punches there?
Anyway,
He didn't go for the kill shot.
stone giant then turns around and fixates his gaze on the next thing in front of him.
Oh!
He's going to use that to try to get another chance. And yep, that works. And so he's once again going to start coughing up this bile. And this time, all over Skelly. So Skelly needs to make a con save.
What type of damage is it?
It's
Poison.
Yeah,
it's immune to poison.
Poison damage.
It's immune to poison.
Okay. Well, in that case, Skelly just gets covered in this disgusting poisonous bile, and he's now just soaked in it.
Like
more bone rattling.
His bones are soaked.
Quieter now. He's quiet.
Little WD-40.
Yeah, he has been successfully.
Oh, thank God.
He's been successfully lubricated.
His dex score should go up then.
All right. And Lear, you're up as you see this ineffective attack.
You bastard!
Skelly.
Can I move Moonbeam and then move it back on him to get the effect to go off again?
I want to say that doesn't work that way.
It's the first time.
That would be kind of weird if it did.
What does the spell say?
It just says whenever the target enters it or ends its turn in it, or starts its turn in it.
Yeah, when the creature enters for the first time.
Oh, okay. So he's already in it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Well, that ruined everything.
I mean,
it doesn't need to do a roll during its turn for being in it.
He already did.
Okay.
Yeah, he already did at the start of his turn.
Chill touch.
The spell specifically says when the creature enters the spell's area for the first time, or starts its turn there, it gets the
23. Chill touch.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
Hold left shift, Cody. That's how you roll with advantage.
I forgot I had advantage. 8 damage, and then Skelly will take a scimitar attack on it.
Come on, Skelly.
Okay.
Please. I want this to happen.
That's 16, but he gets another roll. It won't roll advantage for him. For whatever reason. Come on. 17!
That just
That's
hits.
right.
Come on.
Yes. Oh, come on. 6 slashing damage.
I think that's maximum
Okay.
damage just
You
can do, right?
Skelly takes a jab at his like Achilles tendon and slices it open. The creature seems to still be unabated though, despite the egregious injuries.
I really want Skelly to kill this thing.
Skelly's probably not going to be with us here in a minute. That's my turn.
All right, Rasher, you're up.
What else are you going to do?
You have one thing.
Blast it.
Yeah. Alright, I'll just shoot.
All right.
Fire the missiles.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to roll
Just
again.
hits.
Yeah, 17 hits.
Yeah, the 17 just hits.
Okay.
Pretty good. That sneak attack, boy. Come on. Woohoo.
23 damage. You roll something real quick here. Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so you fire. And the creature, the stone giant, you fire, and your crossbow bolt lands directly into the creature's eye. You can almost sense like a cry of pain in the other eye. However, as the creature begins to fall to the ground, it sort of steels itself and starts banging its great club on the ground and maintains its stature. Still alive, still swinging.
Yeah, I'm not gonna move.
Okay. All right,
Bonus
Dorian,
action,
you're up then.
stand in one place.
So anyway, I start blasting. So
Well, I could lay down actually.
to where Eldritch Blast. Back.
Second one
One
hits.
hits.
9 fucking necrotic damage. Where the fuck you at? 4.
13.
Yep. Again, you fire, and in fact, the weakened flesh of the creature begins to give way at the blast of eldritch energy and force, and a portion of its flesh just flies off in a chunk onto the cold ground of the cavern. The creature, however, barely even notices and is still on its feet, moving.
Thick.
Okay, anything else?
Shift this way a little bit.
All right, Cliff, you're up. You can see that the creature is incredibly hurt, but
I swear to God, if he
seems
gets
to-
a fucking vicious mockery kill again.
Alright, I'm gonna make a bold move here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm gonna touch him and cast Lesser Restoration on him. To try and get this ichor off of him and let him die in
Lesser
peace.
Restoration. Okay,
Interesting.
let me see this.
That's spicy and hot.
You know what? I'll allow it. You walk up to Goliath, and with a little bit of compassion and understanding in your mind, you cast a healing spell upon him. You try to restore this giant back to the state that he once was, and you can see the condition. His one remaining eye can see him almost nod to you as this terrible, dark skin and flesh that he's acquired over the last few minutes begins to turn back to the normal gray color of the rest of his kin. And he nods his head as the condition afflicting him seems to leave his body for the moment, and with just a moment to acknowledge his situation as he looks at his own torn and desecrated body, he looks at you, Cliff, giving that last approving look and nod as he falls to the ground, dead.
Dun, 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 dun.
Woo!
This
What
guy's
a
giving me the
great way.
cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Cliff, you see those tendrils start crawling away off the body, onto your feet and past you, right back to me. And before we get too far in, congratulations, Cody. Someone said in chat that Skelly's their favorite character.
Skelly's their favorite.
They've known him for 20 minutes, and they say he's just their favorite character.
Oh,
I kind of walk over and I said, I know it was a bold move, but I thought it was all or nothing.
all right. Everyone in the party takes 100 psychic damage. You're all dead.
I changed my
that was
mind
actually
as a
pretty
bonus
good.
action. I hex Cliff. I move the hex over.
You hex
so
Cliff
so
with
the
the bonus.
tendrils do like a 90-degree turn and just start heading right back to him.
Oh, you taking me for granted?
Cliff, you feel a horrifying presence all around you.
Lear
You've never
feels
felt
sick.
more terror in your entire life.
Alright, we'll just start with a clean slate.
Tendril starts slowly choking him to death.
Dry heaving.
Well,
Sorry, man, the rock ones are too easy.
you all are given just enough time to sort of like look around yourselves and see exactly what just happened, and you all see that it does appear that Cliff was able to at least momentarily cure Goliath of any ailment that might have been caused by the introduction of that E-core into his system, at least enough to allow him a somewhat peaceful death, as the only thing keeping him alive at that point was whatever it was that he had been forced to ingest. And so the remaining stone giants that were watching, including Barfall Stonecleaver, look down to you, and you can see as you look up the immense cavern that many of those that had remained have now sort of nodded their heads in Cliff's direction and have turned to walk away. Barfall, as well as his guards that he's been keeping close, do remain, however, and he calls out to all of you. Well, that was certainly something. Meet me in my chambers. And he turns and he walks away as the other two guards begin their descent down into the cavernous arena.
I'm gonna use my Pearl of Power to recover my 13.
You can do so. Any other actions that anyone would like to take while they're waiting for these two stone giants to sort of wrap their way around the chamber in your direction?
I think I missed it. Are you saying they're coming down to like fight?
No, they're coming to
No.
escort us.
They're coming. They're coming down presumably to escort you.
Okay.
Take a look at the body.
Is Paul dead? Can we revive Paul?
Oh, Paul's dead.
Oh yeah, you can
I
make
try
an
to cast-
investigation check or a perception check, whichever, to sort of
I
see.
I'm trying to find. Does the corruption seem to leave the body of the stone giant, or does it still look corrupted? And
So you can make an investigation check then on the stone giant while Novus makes his on Paul.
8.
So we'll start with Novus.
old
Novus, you take a look at Paul. You kind of run up to his side, and you're looking around, and sure enough, you see the stump that was once Paul's head there, and it doesn't really, despite your background as a physician, such background was not necessary to sort of diagnose Paul with absolute death.
Can I use mending?
So you start to cast the spell and you begin to mend, but then you recall that the spell does not work on flesh. It only works on materials.
He does it anyway.
And you do it anyway, just in vain. But
it actually makes it worse.
yeah, as the spell sort of tries to weave around the flesh, you can see the sinews begin to break apart because of sort of the spell itself is very because it's normally used for things such as metal and wood and things like that. It's not very gentle. And so as it tries to mend
Paul is dead.
as it tries to mend the sinew of Paul's flesh, it just sort of breaks it even worse than it was before.
Oh, what gave you that idea? Was it his skull caved in?
Does he have any valuables under his skin folds?
Oh my god.
Oh no, he's dead.
You don't find any.
You son of a bitch.
Away from him! Get away from him!
You loot goblin.
He was one of us.
Paul was kind of destitute, and the only thing that he had of value to his name was that wind fan that he already gave.
Was his friends?
I didn't actually do that. I was joking.
He also, you find in his skin flaps a self-made tattoo with Cliff and a heart around it.
You do find some like body cheese caked in there.
Yeah. No, dude, I just got them eating. That's fucking gross.
Yeah, well, you're the one who decided to loot the corpse of your dead friend. So.
I begin writing the Ballad of Paul.
And
Okay.
would you like to say any words for your
Paul,
departed friend?
Paul, with one eyeball. Can't finish. I start crying.
Oh, poor Cliff.
I want that. You have
well,
to
it started off
down.
pretty good though, so we'll have to see how that develops moving forward.
Kelly gives you a pat on the back.
Lear, you take a look at Goliath, and what you see is that you believe, to the best of your knowledge, that Cliff's spell was only like a temporary solution that allowed him to momentarily regain his mortality.
A brief interruption in what it was doing.
So that his brain could die.
Yeah. I gotcha.
However, it's difficult to tell whether or not this was like something that would actually cure this condition. But you assume it was not. Because you can see, like, for example, the chunk of flesh that had fallen off of his body is still infested with whatever terrible liquid.
Gotcha. It basically just gave a brief moment where he could die.
Yeah, it gave him a brief moment of relapse to where he regained his consciousness, and then the utter shock of his injuries caused brain death.
Nice. Cool.
Does anyone have unused health potions?
I believe
I gave mine to somebody else.
Pull my backpack off.
I have one.
Does anyone need it?
Yes. I have one too.
Does anyone need it?
Like the second?
I do have a potion of healing.
Like, does any?
I could use one,
Who
honestly.
has taken damage?
I have.
Drink that health potion.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink the health potion.
Alright, you can roll the healing.
Ooh. 10.
Okay, about as good as it gets.
And then
Yeah, it is.
I point to the gaping hole in the giant. Use that vial.
Okay, no. Go there and use the vial.
Okay.
What do you want exactly?
Yeah, I was about to say.
What do you?
Before
I'm telling you to put an empty vial in that gaping
Yeah.
hole. What do you think I want? I want you to collect a sample of this shit.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
dripping. So in addition to the blood, I mean really that's actually just about it. There's blood dripping from the hole, but the blood seems to be tainted with whatever it was that the creature consumed.
I'll try to collect some
Okay.
into the vial.
Yeah, easy enough. This is a
Cork it.
very obviously as a giant, he's very large, and so lots of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and given the grievous injuries, there's a lot to collect. And in fact, you get some bits of flesh in there as well, tainted flesh.
I'm just gonna put custom
Sort of
items,
drips down.
corrupted stone giant blood.
All right, yep, you can. Yeah, I would just say corrupted stone giant blood
Gotcha.
in your inventory.
Put it in my backpack. All right.
Okay.
That's
Anything
sad
else
about
anyone wants to
Paul.
do? As there doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency to these giants coming down to you. So, if there's anything else, you can certainly have the opportunity to try it.
Paul, oh Paul, with one eyeball, he wished to be a giant, and against stood tall. But 'twas the giant whomst was Paul's fall.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
What do you think? Thank you.
Like, if you added some maybe like drums, like some slow, like
Yeah, like it's more of like a beat poem.
yeah.
I act along with
like,
it.
Have Skelly play
So-
the bone with them.
So, like everybody should be like snapping right
Yeah.
now.
It's just a short and sweet.
Maybe
It's a
you
new thing in this world.
maybe you need to
Sorry.
set up a song about Paul before you release this one. Because why would anyone care about the Ballad of Paul if they don't know who Paul is?
Ooh.
That's a
Yes.
suggestion.
I told them everything they need to know. He had one eyeball and he wished to be a giant. And against one stood tall,
He
but
was-
it
Maybe
was the
in-
giant
In your
who was
own
Paul's fall.
words, he was one of us. So I think he was more than just a.
That's how I'm dealing with it right now.
Yes.
Write your own stupid poem about him.
Are you gonna name one of your? Are you gonna have another kid and name it Paul?
Hell no.
I think you should do that.
No, he was my child. On his tombstone it will say Paul
Oh.
Williams.
Paul Cliffson. All right. About this time, the two stone giant guards make their way down into the icy, cavernous arena. And you heard the man. You heard Varfall. Come with us.
Righty then.
I pushed the leer towards the giants.
All right. So you guys follow them.
Yep.
And you follow them back up the cavern and back towards the throne room you were all in just a little while ago. And this time, when you enter, the rage and anger of the stone giant chief Varfall has been supplanted by seeming curiosity. As you approach, he still sits on his throne with his mug, his goblet of this strange liquid that he keeps sipping periodically. So tell me, how is it that small ones like you could possibly best one of my finest warriors?
See that it's simple. We've been blessed by the Grey One. Of the Druid sept that you refused peace with.
Is that so? The Grey One gave you this power.
He helped unlock possibilities within all of us.
That is most interesting. I could use those like you yourselves. Tell me, what was it again that brought you here, in front of me?
We come seeking peace between you and the Grey Peak Circle of Druids.
Peace.
With the staff, I'll hold it out again, that used to symbolize this peace.
Well, what you have been told is incorrect. I have not forgotten. In fact, I more than remember this peace. This allegiance between ourselves and the druids of that circle. I just do not believe in that, like my predecessor. I believe it is time for us giants to claim our birthright once again. Tell me, what do you know of the histories of millennia past?
Seem to be pretty ignorant in them, to be honest.
Long ago, giants, such as ourselves, ruled the world. We were the dominant race, and small ones such as yourselves served us and did our bidding, fearful of our stature and might. But, obviously, as you've all seen, through your times on this land, that time is long since past. There are those who think that I have gone mad. I'll tell you, my goals are much more rational than what those against me might have you believe. Tell me, you, what is your name? Looking at you, Lear.
My name is Lear.
You seem to be the leader of this group of yours. No one else has gotten the stones to pipe up their voices towards me. I am the leader of my people, you understand. Much like you may be the leader of this ragtag group of warriors in front of me now. My goal is not to take over the world like the giants of old. See, that would be unrealistic. Perhaps impossible. There are too many of you small things running around the world these days. Rather, my goals are more simple. I wish to expand my camp's influence and territory. You see, I don't know if you've noticed, but we only have so much room down here in the mountains, and we've been running out of room for centuries. A problem that's been all but ignored by the previous leadership of this tribe. Not only have we been running out of carving space for our artwork, we've been running out of living space. We're also not respected like other civilized races of people, considered savages by most. In fact, the majority of the trade we get is via other beast-like races, such as
instead
goblins.
So instead of seeking peace and being civilized, you dig into your savagery. Why? Do you not see this as backfiring against what you're trying to do?
That's just it. The druids of the Grey Peak Circle, Lear, they force us into this. They say us stone giants should stay where we belong, in the mountains, not bother the folk of the civilized world. Stay away.
Can I make an insight check on that statement?
You can make an insight check.
Natural 20.
Ooh.
27.
Wow. For a 27 total. So what you gain from these words and from the facial expression, it seems to you that Varfall truly believes what he's saying, despite any fault in reasoning that he might have. But you can tell that these words from Varfall ring true, at least in his own mind. He believes, truthfully, that the Grey Peak Circle has been encouraging the stone giants and the leadership of this particular tribe of stone giants to remain in their mountain, to remain within their space, to not expand, as it may be dangerous to do so. And this is definitely something that Varafal has taken exception to and believes wholeheartedly that it is not the way for his people to progress.
So you've talked to them. You've tried contacting them on these issues.
I have, and the leaders before us have, and the leaders before them have. In fact, Zaroth, the previous chief of this tribe, wholeheartedly believed in the Grey Peak Circle's vision for us as a people. They'd have us stay here and rot away. Tell me, Lear, do you know what it's like to not be able to reproduce or to have relationships with your fellow kin because there simply is no more room to expand the tribe?
I do not know that.
You see, us giants have a very unique way of maintaining our proper population. If we do not have room to expand, we cannot reproduce. A law in our own biology passed down from our gods themselves. So what is there to do, Lear, but make more room to expand, to do what a people are meant to do?
That's truly what your people want.
Many of them do. But if you are a leader, like you say, then you would know that sometimes you must go against what people want for their own good. And that is why I took the leadership from Zaroth, and why I am sitting here on this throne. I earned this because my people need me and require it.
You did this without any outside influence. No one talked to you beforehand or gave you anything beforehand.
Make a persuasion check.
You're good at these.
Persuasion. 11.
His eyes sort of narrow your way. Of course not. I do this for my own people's good. I do it for the good of stone giants and giants everywhere.
So for the good of it, you forcefully fed whatever that was into that champion of yours to fight even past death. Because it was for the good of your people?
Greater good.
He refused to follow his leader's orders. For that he was punished. Nothing more.
Looking at his two guards, am I picking up anything? The facial expressions, they seem...
Make an insight check.
You're good at these.
He is good at these.
Not good at these.
9.
For lack of a better way to say this, the stone faces of the giants looking straight forward,
I see what
they're very hard to
there.
read. But what you can sort of tell from your deep dive into the psyche of Varafal is that this is a man that commands respect from his people. He is feared. He stands taller than most giants.
Tell me this.
He's clearly very strong, but you see he commands this, and he likely would not surround himself with people that were not loyal to him.
I give Doran a little elbow jab and say, "Those guards are pretty stone-faced, aren't they?"
Do you want to end up like Paul?
Sorry, continue.
You should be sorry.
Tell me, Lear, what do these druids have to offer me and my kin that would make some alliance worth it to anyone?
We can always establish supply lines between their circle and yours. They are excellent hunters, and I can always get you leather, meat, whatever else. We can also talk about maybe a shared landscape where you can come out of the mountains and get supplies as needed without having much violence between the two. Us druids tend to keep to ourselves and not worry ourselves about other people's issues, including your expansion. As long as it did not threaten them, they probably would not care.
That is not what the last said.
The last was probably young and ill-informed in the world around them.
I see. Well, I cannot say that the alliance with the druids was completely one-sided. It did have its benefits. However, I found that those benefits are outweighed by the cons. However, if you say that they wish to change the deal, something else can be done to make it worth my while, I am more receptive to that. However, it will take more than your mere words to convince me otherwise. Hear this. Allow me to think upon your request. The words you have imparted upon me, at the very least, they pique some interest.
Make the deal worse. You killed Paul. You tried to
come
kill
back
us.
Tomorrow, after I have been given time to think about this. At that time, I will likely have a request of my own of all of you. You are obviously all quite capable. There are not many that could best Goliath, and even fewer so that could likely best him under the influence of the witch potion.
There it is.
And there it motherfucking is.
So you have been contacted by Russia.
At the mention of Rasha, his eyes sort of open a bit wider. You know of Rasha?
I do.
Well, tell me, friend or foe?
They're exes.
I'm not too sure on that yet. We've not officially met, but I do have questions.
I would suggest steering clear of that witch. She is certainly trouble.
Clearly.
One that I dealt with just too recently. But I've said enough already, I believe. And so, leave me. Allow me to think on your request and return tomorrow, and we shall discuss further.
Of course.
Now, be gone. And he motions for you to turn around and leave.
I said good day.
And as you leave, he takes another healthy chug from his mug, his goblet, and slams it down into the chair a little bit, kind of sprays up into the air. He wipes the liquid from his mouth that remains as you exit. And as you exit the throne room, having learned a bit more about Varafal and his goals and ambitions, as well as the stone giants themselves and perhaps their potential involvement with the witch Rasha, we'll take a quick break and be back in 10 or 15 or so.
Gotcha.
All right, I will be back probably in 10 or less. But break time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's in Cliff's notebook right now.
It's beautiful.
Pretty good.
What else is in the Cliff Notes?
I don't know. Letters to his wife.
I hate to break it to you, she's already left you for a younger man at this point.
God damn it, Jody. I was gone 2 weeks.
Cody double backed and just murdered your whole family so you couldn't leave him again.
Yeah, probably a smart thing to do.
Well, thank you. Yeah, Skelly is a nice creation of our druid Lear. He is the party's little cinnamon bun that hopefully we can keep alive longer than our pet Cyclops. And when the DM gets back, I'll sure to tell him that you like his storytelling.
Don't do that, man. The set's already big enough.
I know. He says Cliff's the worst character.
Yeah.
No, he says he likes everyone so far. Yeah, the Cyclops that died in that fight, his name was Paul, and we adopted him, and we had him for like 2 sessions, and then he got his head smashed in.
I think Paul adopted us more than we adopted him.
He definitely adopted you.
I think we were supposed to kill him.
Yeah, so the DM's like, fine, if you won't kill my Cyclops, I'll do it myself.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to that.
You know what they say, the brightest stars burn out twice as fast.
Anyone else back?
Yeah.
Nice.
You weren't here, but the guy in chat said Skelly's his favorite character, so.
Nice. It's good to know that the skeleton with no backstory or
I was about to say that there's a lot of depth to Skelly, so.
Yeah, he doesn't need a backstory. The mystery and the mystique is part of the charm.
He's a Skeletor.
He's like Boba Fett or something. We don't want to know about Boba Fett. The mysteries,
when he shows up.
Saying you didn't watch episode 1 of
I
the
did.
Boba series?
I did. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I blinked and it was over.
I know,
You
dude.
know
It
what?
was still like 40 minutes. It's crazy.
Like, nothing happened.
We gotta kill this guy. We gotta take a nap. And then come back and kill this man.
Oh no, I definitely feel the choo-choo train leading us toward another fight.
Well, we're gonna kill this man.
Either that or another
Job
I'm gonna get not paid to
Lear
do.
had to hold. Lear had to hold back.
Oh, it's like he tried to kill us, and he killed Paul, and then he's like, I have altered the deal. Brad, you're not Darth Vader, bitch.
Nah, I'm just saying whatever's good enough so we can get the fuck out and come back tomorrow.
See, that's the beauty about Skelly. As long as we have a fresh corpse around, he's always with us.
Yep. Well, that's why I didn't use plant growth, because I need a spell slot to keep Skelly going.
Was it worth it, though?
It's not, honestly.
I'd
rather keep using conjure animals.
It's too deep now. We can't get rid of Skelly.
I know, but that's the thing. We're committed. Like, he has to stay now.
You gotta find a way to like upgrade Skelly.
Oh,
upgrade.
We need a magical weapon to give to Skelly.
No.
None of us.
Tyler, if I would have asked you beforehand, would you have let Lesser Restoration go through, or was the act of already walking up there and doing it enough to sway you to let it go?
I rule of cooled that one. I thought that was a really cool way to end the fight, so I thought that, sure.
He burned a spell slot for that, but he didn't save Paul. Interesting.
There wasn't much saving Paul.
We were talking about you were so salty that we didn't kill Paul, you decided just to do it yourself.
Well, I mean, you guys all sort of ran to the sides of the arena and just sort of like let Paul engage raging.
It's definitely not
I was
like
tired of being a punching bag.
Yeah, it's definitely not like me and Cody had already previously just fought his retard strength form.
It was a good way to do things, and I just thought that was a really creative and neat way. Now, obviously, you guys through the descriptions know that that was not like enough to cure anything, but like I said, it sort of it gave enough reprieve. It sort of brought Goliath back to consciousness for a moment, just enough to realize how absolutely fucked he was, and that was enough to, in the pure shock of his injuries at that point, was enough to cause brain death.
Now, I really shouldn't tell you this because your ego is too big already. But the guy in chat says good storytelling from the DM.
Aww.
I don't. He's only seen like an hour of your campaign, so
yeah, not a lot to go.
Not on. A good sample size. We'll let him keep thinking that though.
Yeah, sure.
The other thing why we all went to the edge of the arena is the first thing you did was like 41 points of damage to Paul. I'm like, yeah, I only have 38, so I'm good back here.
Yeah. No, that was the smart way to handle it, and had Paul not been with you, things might have been a little bit.
The P-Man will always be remembered.
People would have been dying quickly.
He died a hero. He died a giant.
Very dead.
Perhaps you could say.
He died as he lived, without a brain.
But
well, are we still missing?
Justin is muted, so probably him.
The semi truck here.
Hollow Paul with one eyeball. He wished to be a giant, and again stood tall. But 'twas the giant whomst was Paul's fall.
Beautiful.
Nice drawing.
Thank you. It was done in paint.
I don't know. I think I'm still leaning towards Cody's rendition of Paul. Still?
Yeah, it's way better. I found like a parchment template, and I was like, well, this isn't big enough to take up the whole thing, so I'm just going to draw all them at the bottom and say, Cliff failed the drawing portion of Bard's School.
Yeah, that is not his forte.
He keeps trying this stupid stand-up comedy thing that no one knows what the hell it is. And he's not good at it, so it's not going anywhere.
He's literally the jack of all trades. He's master of none.
I took a page out of XP3's book. He said in one of his latest videos, like, if you've got a big bad creature, for the love of God, make sure you give them legendary resistance, because if you don't, you're gonna have the bard just cast fucking some sucker save spell and just completely trivialize the fight.
I was trying to let Paul get his revenge with him, because he was up next.
He would have.
If he was prone.
I wanted Skelly to get the last hit so bad.
He was close, but then again,
you did the zombie thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's sort of a homebrew thing of that. It's kind of like that. It's not like Undead Fortitude. It's I'm calling it Undying Rage.
Is it like similar to Bless, or not Bless, Concentration, where the amount of damage obviously
what you've seen
plays a factor?
What you've seen thus far. So no, actually, it doesn't matter how much damage has been applied. The idea is that the creature is so overcome by pure rage, it is not feeling the pain, and so even if chunks of flesh, even if blows that would otherwise be fatal, that would cause, anaphylactic shock and cause the creature to die, don't affect it. And so it's sort of in that vein.
All right,
it just
Spencer.
doesn't. It would die, but it doesn't.
Quit with the mouth breathing.
Sorry, I got on my exercise bike while we wait.
He's making good use of his time. He's role playing as Cliff right now. Cliff having that battle's a little winded.
I'll mute when I'm not talking.
So is everyone back yet?
I haven't heard Justin.
He's unmuted. Yeah.
Okay, back. Okay.
Okay, we'll listen to this next giant fight.
into the next one. Okay, well, all right. So we are back. So you've just had maybe a quite telling conversation with the chief of the Giants, Varfall. And as you leave the throne room and enter the much larger chamber, the cavern that houses most of the stone giant's works and carvings, you peer out, and there's a few giants that are sort of like milling about in this area. They saw you enter, and they're seemingly curious as to the what may have occurred to you with your second audience with Varafall. Seeing that you all exited and you don't seem to be maimed in any particular way, most of them move off, not saying anything. However, as you make your way out, sort of given free rein of the camp, one giant in particular does approach all of you. You see a female giant approach you, standing just as tall as the other giants. This giant is adorned with many stone carvings of what appear to be flowers. Necklace, massive earrings, bracelets, and bands, the clothing hanging with these carvings. The giant approaches and sort of leans down, taking a knee onto the ground in front of all of you, sort of to get closer to your level of height. She introduces herself. Hello. My name is Aurelia. Aurelia Flower Carver. I saw your fight with Goliath.
Did you know him?
I did. And looks at you, Cliff. I appreciate that you allowed him to die as he was. There aren't many, given the circumstances, that would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just happy it all worked out. Trying to hide that I had no idea that was going to work.
Well, I would like to apologize on behalf of the giants here. And there's not much more I can say than that at this time, but I'd like to ask all of you something. If you could meet with me and some of my companions tonight, there's something of great importance that we would ask of you. I know you've already met Lorgath earlier today.
I think that can be arranged.
And at this, she kind of looks around to see if she's being listened to, and speaks in as hushed a tone as she can. Find him tonight. He'll take you to us. And at that, without another word, she stands up and turns around and walks away. Perhaps as not to give any more suspicion to anyone who might be looking your way.
And I'll look at the group, and maybe we should keep conversation to a minimum until we can maybe head to the outskirts or away from here.
Whatever you say, leader.
I'm not a leader.
You wouldn't think 10-foot tall stone giants would be very good spies, but I guess they are.
The witch's influences within this camp wouldn't put it past
You keep talking
a
about
lot of
this
things to
witch.
happen.
A little obsessive, aren't you?
Small. I'll talk to you later about it.
Whatever you say, leader. We'll lead the way.
I'll lead the way.
As a leader would.
On this excursion, okay.
And taking a page out of Cliff's book, sorry. The leader? Yeah? Okay, I'm done.
Back to the campaign midway.
Alright, so you all...
Die of cringe from that joke.
Having obtained the approval, question mark, of Varfel, you do have free reign of the camp. You're free to look around and see who might be here. You might be able to talk to some other giants if you wish.
Okay, I look around. What do I see?
You see much of what you saw earlier when you came in. You see the stalagmites and the stalactites of the chamber all adorned with different carvings and whatnot. You see massive stone boulders that have been carved into different statues. You see even the stone floor itself has been carved. It seems there's not much in this space that has not been utilized into some form of artwork and stone carving.
There seemed to be kind of like a trading post or some sort of supply center.
Make an investigation check as you kind of move through the camp.
And are there actual like buildings, or is it all carved into the walls of the cave?
Yes, so there are several what look like buildings where massive stone boulders and into the walls and whatnot, things have been carved to sort of create these homes for these giants to live in. And again, much of the cave is lit by torches and bonfires throughout, but there are also different mineral formations and things that sort of shine and glow. So, Lear, you're kind of walking around. As you move through the camp, many of the giants sort of either completely ignore your presence, either through choice or through just not noticing you based upon your small stature compared to them. They continue with their work, but you do notice several looking your way. Any that you attempt to maybe ask as you're moving through, looking for any sort of trade post or anything like that, seem to shrug and point in a general direction as you move through. They don't say much to you. You eventually come upon a larger open area towards the center of the camp where there are several giants around that, rather than working with stone, appear to be skinning animals such as elk and bears. But there's nothing like it's not like a marketplace or anything like that. This seems to be a work area where food and pelts are processed rather than a trading post. But this is the closest thing you were able to find.
Well, anything any of you want to look at? Didn't quite find what I was after.
What happened
Does
to
anybody
that?
need anything?
What happened to that giant fucking mural Cliff carved.
Is it in the junk pile?
It was left with Varfall in his throne.
Yeah, as a gift.
Was it in the throne room when we went back in there? Or was it gone?
You didn't see it.
I hate to break it to you, Cliff. I don't think he was a fan.
That's right. It's signed Paul's name on it.
By the comparison of man, Cliff's carving was immaculate. It was great. It wasn't a masterpiece by any means, but it was something that you may have seen in a display room at in like one of the major cities of Faerun. However, as compared to the stonework and carving of the stone giant camp, it doesn't hold a candle to it. And in fact, as you've gone through, Cliff, you especially being more receptive to the arts, you're very impressed by these giants' ability. However, what you all do notice is it seems that Varafal may have been telling the truth. There seems to be little space that you've seen in this cavern that is not already carved. And in fact, you've seen several giants recarving the same space to make it new, or to perhaps improve upon what's already there, rather than creating new works.
Liam, have we seen any other female stone giants? Because I know he mentioned some weird way they procreate. Is she like the only one, like the queen bee?
So you have seen others, and in fact, in the trading post animal preparation area that you were just in, it seems that there were several that were preparing the animals and things like that, and then there's also been many stone carvers you've seen have also been females. It seems like the mix is roughly about 60-40. If you had a best guess, 60 male, 40 female. However, in the way of, say, children, stone giant children, you've maybe seen one.
And how old could we guesstimate this child to be?
Anyone who wants to can make a nature check.
I'm good at those.
The fuck is it? There it is. Natural 20 for 21.
So, by your best guess, Dorian, you believe that likely young adolescents, and you can tell this mostly not due to your knowledge of stone giant biology, but mainly just the demeanor of that particular giant that you saw. He was sort of following around other stone giants, just sort of watching them carve or watching them do things, but was large enough to be older. You did not see any stone giants that were, truly children.
So it's been a hot minute since they've had one.
You can tell that seems to be the case.
Oh, we've got room for one more now, am I right? We just murdered one.
You can tell, walking throughout, that obviously these caverns are incredibly large, but given the sheer size of the stone giants, they're, it's pretty crowded. It's easy enough for the five of you and Skelly to move around, but for these larger creatures, it's much more difficult.
How do they look?
There's not as much room.
How do they look? What's like the general demeanor of the place?
Make an insight check.
I am not good at these. I don't think I've rolled above a 10 on a single insight check
Well,
this game.
you could also
Oh,
you can
there
also
it
make
is.
an invest.
I-
You can also make
I
an
made it.
investigation.
I got a 13. It doesn't matter. It's like the same either way.
I'd also want to know.
You could make a check as well then. So while it's unclear, just based upon their faces, you don't. It doesn't seem like it's not Never Never Land in here. It is quite dreary, mostly. People are working, and they seem to be being productive. You don't sense like a lot of happiness, but it's hard to tell if this is because of your presence or because of some overarching
I was trying more to
tyranny,
discern, like,
perhaps.
are they getting their needs met? Like, is there, like, scarcity
Oh, I see.
going around, or do they
Get the
seem to
rocks
be,
a lot.
or do they seem to be all right? Like I'm trying to,
Barfall
like I'm trying to discern,
was
like, is there a real overpopulation issue here?
so the majority of the giants are pretty gassed. They don't seem to be um, supple, I suppose. Varfall, actually, out of all the giants you've seen here, is the most well-fed looking one, I suppose. Is that more what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't look like they're starving, but they don't look like they're feasting
It looks
all the
like
time either.
they're getting the bare minimum met.
Right. And you can imagine having seen the, some of the elk and bear that had presumably been hunted, that a single elk or a single bear is not going to feed this community for very, very much or very long. And you might imagine that if there were a dozen more stone giants in this tribe, that it would be very difficult for them to feed themselves.
Well, there's some grain of truth to what he said. They don't look too well off here.
I feel like they could do better off, though. Instead of war and ravage their supplies and their people, why not make peace with the druids and the surrounding creatures? Prove to the others that they aren't these savages.
It sounds like, if what he's saying is true, this is more of a problem with your druids.
Yes, I am concerned about that. Druids can be just as ignorant when it comes to matters like these. They only see what they're doing as right. They don't really see their effects on other people.
What I'm having issue understanding here is what is so special about this circle of druids that the giants need their consent.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I don't see why it's such a big deal. Why are they so worried about the druids? What are they holding against them?
Because, damn, recollection, like, how many, like, roughly, how many druids did we see in the circle?
Oh, several.
When we
dozen.
entered, we seen a bunch when we first entered an accident.
There's 50 to 100 in the Grey Peak Circle.
Okay, 50 to 100, and we've seen how many giants here?
30 to 40.
Yeah, that's pretty heavily in favor of the giants, I would say.
Yes, unless they just fear magic this much.
They don't seem to fear too much because they sent the last druid flying through the sky.
It's true.
Right at our
the
feet.
Grey One does have immense power if he's truly reach Archdruid levels.
Yeah, but the Grey One's also old and decrepit.
This is true too. I just wish I could ask Dinesh. He's always helped guide me on these rougher issues. Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. None of this really does.
It's your call, leader.
I'm not a leader.
This is your venture, leader.
Yes. Lear.
Oh, God, I gotta take a headache.
Oh, so now it's funny.
Yeah, the classic donkey.
It's all about delivery, I guess.
You're gonna join Paul a lot sooner than you think if you keep this up.
Paul never left me. I hold my heart.
You have. It doesn't make sense though. It really doesn't. They could easily storm down there and probably wipe them out.
So it sounds like Varfall might just be posturing. He doesn't actually want to fight. If he can avoid it. Which makes it seem to me that he's willing to make a deal.
Guys, we're supposed to be talking about this later. For now, let's get a drink and see if we can hear any,
The fuck are we gonna find a drink in a giant den?
This disdain between the subjects? Let us be the spies. DM, point me to some ale.
Make an investigation check.
Who the fuck's the DM and why are you screaming in the sky?
DM! Where's the ale?
He's really lost it.
He's overcome with grief. We have to put him down.
Where
is it?
Okay. So first of all, yeah, Cliff is just completely delirious. But given his quick sort of introduction to being an adventurer, he has this is almost like a surreal dream for him, or perhaps a nightmare. But his nose goes to the air looking for ale, and you're actually able to pester enough giants to get them to point you to some place that they refer to as the watering hole. And you enter this stone building that was carved out of the side of the cavern. And inside, there are several barrels, as well as a giant that seems to be manning the place. It seems you can perhaps purchase a drink here.
I stroll on up and get in my booster seat. So I assume the bar is very high.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure.
You got anything we could drink?
Well, that depends.
Preferably not on the rocks.
We only serve drinks on the rocks here. Yeah. Here you go. And he hands you this giant mug that's way too big for you, for normal people. And it's filled with a sort of purplish, like a semi-clear liquid.
Okay.
Does it come with like 5 straws for the party?
What's a straw?
Okay, not Lear. Cliff's standing next to it. How big's the mug compared to Cliff?
I mean, it's comically sized, right? It's bigger than his head.
How tall is it? Like, if Cliff stands right next to it, how tall is it?
It's like 3 feet tall.
Ooh.
Pick it up with my 19 strength and say, alright, let's find a corner and try and listen. It's an old bard technique.
All right, there's no one else in here right now other than yourselves and the one giant. All right.
They will come. They will come.
And so as you drink the purplish liquid, it tastes like it's a very watered down mead, is what it is. You're able to tell immediately.
Does he just like pour it all over?
There's a shitload of it.
There's a ton of it, right? So it's not it's not very strong, but you drink enough of it.
Does he make a giant mess when he picks up and tilts it? Just spills it all over himself.
All rushes toward his face.
Oh yeah, it's getting all in that beard.
Hell yeah.
Saving it for later.
I just was noticing on Trevor's stream when you like hover over it, you see everybody's portrait just fine, and then it's just Cliff's
your gut.
stomach.
Yeah, perfect. It's amazing.
Epic.
All right.
Well,
so why are we here?
I'll walk up.
Besides you.
Well, you guys are just jabbing in the street. At least if we talk here, only one person's gonna overhear us.
I think we'd notice if giants were following us, Cliff. I don't think they're that sneaky.
The one lady said to be careful, so I'm trying to be careful.
What lady?
The lady giant.
I kick Cliff in the shin as soon as he says it.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
I would do that shit out there. At least now only one person can hear.
He's learning. He's become self-aware. He's evolving.
By the way, Cliff, what was his name over there? Did you happen to get it?
Didn't ask.
Didn't ask. I ignored.
As it comes out as a strange dwarven accent. It was no one asked. That's the famous
No one
Donar
asked.
Cliff.
Well, I'll try to be hushed on this.
Whatever you say, leader.
This witch, I believe she's influenced the stone giants heavily. I feel like he's more afraid of her than us. Maybe she's commanding them to do.
Okay, you keep mentioning this witch. Who is she?
She's a force against nature. She stands for everything druids fight against.
That was very helpful. Thank you
I don't
for
know
sharing.
her personally.
Well,
I'd like to, but
do you think she's
witches
the one
and druids always have issues. Who else to destroy a circle of druids than these stone giants? A witch alone cannot do that. So of course she probably
depends on the witch.
Witches us druids learn about. I've never seen one powerful enough to stop a circle, but I guess you are right. I guess a coven of them could.
It's a big world out there. There are people that can do things that you would blow your mind. Like, take this idiot, for instance. I point over to Novus. He can manipulate time, and he's borderline a moron.
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
pondering my orb.
It is.
You say something?
You're right.
What? I heard my name.
Go back to your orb.
It is.
Sit off in the corner, he's just looking at it. What? I heard my name?
So clearly I am ignorant to this large world.
This one,
What do you all think?
I point to Rashidir, is apparently a walking corpse. But he's not like any undead I've ever seen. So,
This is true.
who the fuck made him? Or whatever he is.
What do you all think about this?
I don't know. You're the leader. What do you want to do?
Am I the only one with thought?
This is your job. You tracked us up to this fucking mountain.
You agreed to come.
I got paid to deal with corrupted monsters and black ooze shit.
I just think the fact that after he killed Paul and tried to kill us, he still continued to try and alter the deal. That I don't think a deal is going to happen.
Right.
We might have to wait till after we talk with this
I'm not saying
guy that we might need to put someone else in power, but I don't know if we're going to be able to make a deal with this guy.
Go back to your drink right now.
Well, we're just sitting here talking about nothing. Either let's move on to that, or
you're the
make a
one
decision here.
that said not to talk about that. And then
out in the open, now there's only one person here, and we're on a table in the corner.
Go back to your drink. Go back to your drink, Cliff. Actually, on second thought, don't go back to your drink, because then you're just going to keep talking, and you're going to say the wrong thing.
Well, he's asking, what are we doing here? So what am I supposed to do? Say nothing?
Not talk aloud about the thing you want to keep a secret.
I'm, like, above game. What are you trying to accomplish here? Are we trying to make a decision before we go into this meeting, or should we just go into this meeting?
Above board, you're the one who dragged us into a tavern for some reason, so I don't know what's going on anymore, what we're trying to accomplish.
Well, I initially was trying to, hopefully there was more than a couple people in here, and we could try and eavesdrop and find out some more
This
info.
is clearly the case, so the DM didn't have a tavern ready, and then you rolled a natural 20 on your investigation checks, and this tavern materialized out of the ether.
No, that's not what happened. That was always here.
Alright, well, I'll finish my drink and let's leave then. I don't know.
Alright, so you guys just want to wait around until it's time to find Lorgath, or what are you guys doing?
I guess so, because chat's voting for revolt, so I guess Viva Revolution.
Viva la Revolution.
Gotcha. And it turns out the new dictator for the one we topple is going to be like 10 times worse than the last one. And then what do we do?
Classic.
We leave. You're going to create the Al Qaeda.
And blame socialism.
And then completely deny we had any involvement in it.
Yeah, you guys were never here. But you guys sort of wait around, just talking amongst yourselves. Just somebody's pondering their orb.
My orb.
And by the way, when your orb tells you that it's about evening time,
is it like an oven ding?
My orb.
No,
my orb
you
lets
can't
me play Raid Shadow Legends.
No, it's not. It's not that advanced.
Yeah, we're not sponsored yet.
This isn't a smartphone. This is an orb.
No, the funny thing is, I am playing Raid Shadow Legends. Decide what we were doing.
Jesus Christ. It's Jason Bourne. But once that time occurs, you all make your way out. So I need whoever's leading the group to make an investigation check to try to track down.
You heard him, leader.
I was about to say I can assist you, but you rolled already.
If you want to assist him, you can give him advantage.
Sure.
Exactly, like the baking timers.
There we go.
Oh, well, there you go. Lear, you surmise, given Lorgath's introduction and what he told you before, that he's likely going to be towards the exit of the camp. And so you go ahead and you make your way that way. And sure enough, once you reach the massive monolith door that leads into the camp, you find Lorgath Mountain Walker there waiting for all of you. Ah, you've made it. I trust you wish to come with me. Excellent.
On we go.
I look forward to showing you the beautiful mountain cliffs of my nightly watch. And he says this loud enough to sort of echo throughout the chamber. As he opens the door, and you all exit back into the long, tunneling cavern that leads back up to the surface. Closes the door, stone door behind you all, and begins leading you through the tunnel. You once again see all of the intricately stone-carved artwork along the walls here. Again, now further noticing that there doesn't seem to be much, if anything, left uncarved as you move up and up and up until you finally reach the surface again. You can see that the snow is driving, and a blizzard of sorts seems to be starting this night. And he leads you out the confines of the tunnel and through the snow. The snow hitting your faces hard, and the cold sort of making its way into your bones. Eventually, you arrive at another large cave, and you can see firelight coming from its exits. And as he leads you into the cave, you see a large bonfire, both heating and lighting the large cavern. And you see the familiar face of Arelea, and as well as a few other stone giants who acknowledge your entrance to the cave and walk up to introduce themselves. First, Arelea walks up and says, "Thank you. Thank you for coming. I had prayed that you would come. Allow me to introduce my companions. Obviously, you've already met Lorgath, but this is Auroch, Nightfist." And he walks forward, and a taller than average stone giant with many scars and battle marks adorning his body approaches you and bows. His bow obviously not even reaching near your height level. And this is Gavia Fearless Drifter, and a female stone giant walks forward who has a massive bow and arrow quiver on her back, as well as several spears equipped to her body. "It's nice to meet you." And finally here is Agriak, True Leader, son to Zaroth, True Leader. And you see a medium height male stone giant who has certainly more of an elegant look about him. He's wearing robes, so cloth, as opposed to the leathers that you've mostly seen being worn by the stone giants. And he merely bows his head to all of you. Ariella then addresses all of you again. "We are the leaders of the resistance against Varafal and his tyranny. Each of us representing a member of one of our tribe's many factions. I myself, Arelea, am one of the stone carvers. Auroch is a member of the tribe's warrior faction. Gavia is one of the hunter-gatherers, and Finally, Egriak, he's the leader of our group. As the son of Zarath, true leader, he is taking his place as the leadership role here. Now please, sit down. Gavia has prepared a nice elk for us to feast upon tonight while we discuss what we would ask of you. And so they all sort of gather around the large bonfire that's been made in the center of this cave, motioning for you all to join them.
Yeah.
Well, since I've had elk.
Take a seat, start singing Kumbaya.
Cliff, you immediately tear into some elk. And it's good. It's fresh. Very bland, though. No spices or any sort of flavoring added. It's just elk.
You know salt's a rock, right? You don't have any of that up here?
Salt. We get salt every now and then, but not for a while. We've used our stores and have not found any other deposits in recent years.
Something you could help with, Lear?
I don't know. We don't really use seasonings in the circle either. Prefer simple. It's good though, right?
Alright.
So why are we here?
That staff that you carry, Druid, I recognize it. That is the staff of Grey Peak, is it not?
It is. Funny enough. Is it Varathol? Is that how you say the leader's name?
Varafal.
Varathol. He recognized it too. Acknowledged it.
He did.
Seemed to not mean much to him though.
That was my next question. I was wondering how he responded to it beyond the spectacle that he created earlier today.
Does not believe the piece is useful enough to him, it seems. At least not the old piece. It's more focused on expansion and war and I guess and other things your people's not accustomed to.
I cannot say that I am surprised. In fact, that is where most of our qualms with Varafal's leadership find their origin. And those qualms have certainly further culminated due to these recent events and the death of Goliath. See, we are here because it is clear to us that Varafal cares not for the stone giant ancient traditions. Many of those traditions going back much further than the dominance of giants on this land that Varafal seems so apt to refer to. Nor does he care for the life of the individual. The needless death of Goliath was evidence of that. Beyond even that, there's something strange about him. We were all once friends with Varafal before this. It seems to us that he's aligned himself with something to reach his goals that just cannot be good.
Have you noticed him speaking with any outsiders, maybe a strange woman of sorts?
There was one visitor to us.
What did this visitor look like, by chance?
I take it you refer to that witch.
Yes. Rasha.
He said she was here to help. To help us with our problems that we've had.
Well, you now see the solution that she's brought.
Of that I do not know. Many of the meetings between her and Varfall were kept secret.
We've been tracking a sort of corruption that's been plaguing beasts and creatures of this land. I myself believe this witch that he's talked to is one of the sources of it, if not the source, but cannot be for sure. But that cup that Goliath was forced to drink down, DM, recollecting on that, does it seem like it is the black ichor or some type of version of it?
It looked kind of like it. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't the same thing.
It's a changed
But
version of it.
yeah, it
Is it the giant version of it?
It looked as if it had
Supercell?
notes of the black ichor, but it was perhaps the black ichor was a ingredient in whatever such thing it was.
What they forced down his throat, it caused him to react like these creatures affected by the black ichor, infused with rage and some sort of undying will to fight.
Made him as hard to kill as one too.
The witch, she said that she would help us transcend ourselves, become something new,
Bear
become
witness.
something that could solve our problems.
What you've seen Goliath become. This witch kind of rubbed my head. Witches lie. Not outright, but there's always some other reason behind the deal.
Of course, and I think that Varfall is not unwise, perhaps. He cast the witch out of our camp. And
Really?
I mean so literally as well. He ordered her to be thrown from the mountain. But
Did you see her from this mountain?
I did not. But as
Did
the
anyone?
story goes, when the witch was grabbed to be thrown off the mountain, she disappeared, leaving nothing but her cloak. But she has not returned.
That's all well and good. Keep talking about this witch. Still haven't answered my question. Why are we here?
Of course. You are here because we believe that Varfall is misguided. That he is not the proper leader for our tribe. We wish to return Zaroth, true leader, to the head of the tribe as chief. And although it would be impossible to do this ourselves, we see an opportunity in all of you. We saw what you did earlier today. We saw how capable you are in battle, but also how compassionate you are.
And there it is. Another favor. So you want us to create a coup for you? Is that what I'm understanding here?
You wish to return peace between us and the druids, yes?
I don't really know what we're doing here anymore.
That's
What are we
correct.
doing here, leader?
He turns to you, Lear. That's what you seek. Peace between our
This
peoples again.
This is true, but does it truly need violence to bring this peace, or is this something you see
hope.
has to be done?
We hope that Varfall can be brought back to reason. But
What is your plan?
well, first, we must find Zaroth. He will know what to do. He was, to our knowledge, Varfall did not kill Zaroth in the blood ritual, as Zaroth refused to fight him. He has said that he's imprisoned Zaroth deep within the mountains, within the Grey Peak depths. We would ask that you find him and bring him back to us.
Couldn't one of you just do this blood ritual thing and take the throne?
That would go against our very nature. And I fear that there's not one among us that could compete
If it's
with
against
Varfall in prowess.
If it's against your nature, then why is it one of your traditions?
It is one that was forgotten long ago, only invoked in the most necessary of circumstances.
And you don't think this is a necessary circumstance?
Trust me. If we would, we likely would take that route. But as I said, I don't believe there's a single one among us who could fight and have a decent chance against Varfall, especially in his current state.
I'm gonna insight check that, because I feel like they're just full of shit.
Okay.
Same. Can I even make a roll around him?
Yeah, I don't know. This is also asinine to me, I can't tell.
And I also.
So, given what you've seen of Varfall again, Varfall being perhaps the largest and most robust giant you've seen of these people, it would be difficult not to bet against whoever would challenge him in a one-on-one battle. And so the words seem genuine. And Rashidar, you sense fear. Genuine fear at the prospect of having to put someone up against Varfall in one-on-one combat to the death.
We're supposed to meet with him tomorrow. Somehow you want us to break Zaroth out of jail and meet with him in the same day. I don't know if we
would
can
ask
hold to
that
both of them.
we would ask that you do not meet with him.
I'm still a little...
No good can come from whatever Varfall asks of you.
I'm still confused on this plan. Say we agree to help you when we break out your former king, who lost his throne because he refused to fight for it to begin with. So what does bringing him back into the fold accomplish? if he's not going to fight.
Where would we go from there? Say we did break him out, then what? Then what's your plan? You just expect this guy that didn't want to fight to know?
That is not how we intend to resolve this.
Then how do you intend to resolve it?
Zaroth was a beloved leader. The ritual of blood was brought upon him surprisingly. No one knew that this occurred until after. If Zaroth is returned to us, I am certain that we can band almost all of the giants together. And we can get Zaroth back upon the throne.
And how do you
barring
plan on do that?
I know that Zaroth, in his genius, will be able to create a plan from there.
Are you going to fight when all the giants band together? Or do you just expect this tyrant to just hand over his power because you asked him to?
There are many who disagree with Varafal's leadership. And there are many still who, although they respect him as their new leader, we believe will take the opportunity to go back to the way things were.
I mean, what's a king with no subjects?
But there are many who believe Zaroth to be dead. Or even worse. If he is brought back to the people, we believe that will be enough.
Okay. You know, there's a saying, beating a dead horse, but I'm going to continue to beat it here. What is your plan to deal with Varfall? You just expect him to fall in line with this?
He's not just going to roll over and let you remove him. No tyrant does.
Once someone gets a taste of power, they don't just give it away.
But if all or almost all of the giants band against him, he will have no choice. He'll have no people to rule.
Did you not see your friend Goliath?
He'll just start killing those that don't fall in line until the
There
rest
is
of you
no
get so
alternative currently.
Just be prepared for him to start attacking people if you go through with this.
No, we
understand.
There's no
that
being
violence
prepared.
may
that
be
is
unavoidable.
That's the only
route we're
option.
taking with this. Yeah.
You have no plan to deal with him. That's the issue here.
Because there may be a couple of his guards that actually end up fighting with him.
Listen, you do not know. All you have seen of Varafal is his current attitude. You did not know him before.
Before the
we believe that the real Varafal is in there somewhere. I don't think he will scorn his kin totally.
Did tonight's entertainment not teach you anything about his actions?
There's something about, or something learned in the streets about people who are in charge, is that power corrupts, and that absolute power corrupts absolutely. If there's no one to challenge him, which it sounds like that's the case, he's just going to run roughshod over everyone until he gets his way, and if you try to suddenly remove him, he's going to start killing people. Or he'll take hostages.
I say we do it.
If violence is unavoidable, then so be it, but we have to get Zaroth back at the very least. Any plan that we have, if there's no alternative leadership, it will not matter.
And what we are telling you right now is that you need to go ahead and come up with a plan to defend yourselves from him, from what will inevitably happen.
Yeah, plan B.
It's not even plan B, it's plan A.
Yeah.
And at this, Egriak, Zaroth's son, finally speaks up. Yes, I understand, and I have already begun preparing for that potential eventuality.
Do you think you can beat him?
I do not know. But if I have to try, that is my birthright. I must.
So, do you even know where this cane of yours is locked away, or do we have to find that out for you two?
Said he was in the mountain.
We do not know exactly.
Narrows it down so little, Rashidir. It's not.
I do not
funny.
know exactly where my father is being held, but we do know where to begin looking.
And where?
The Grey Peak depths. An area within the mountains here that leads deep underground. Partially butting up against the Underdark, in fact.
Oh.
Well, there's probably a lot of bad creatures.
I look over at Doran when they say when it's near the Underdark.
I've had my eyes closed, like rubbing my temples throughout this entire conversation, and it's just...
I stumble in finishing my meat and jab and be like, "Oh, there he is!" Wink, wink. So here's what we're gonna do. And I'm sure you shut me up before that.
I know. I don't intervene, so what is your plan? Let's hear it.
We take all of the stone giants and move them over here.
You know, Cliff,
You might be onto something.
it's not even funny, but it's a better plan than what they have.
Yeah. Sadly.
I'm not getting paid to deal with this shit. You fucking druids. You giants.
I've just had my head in my hands, just face palming, just rubbing my face.
Mm-hmm.
The people, all of us, including myself, we loved my father. He was perhaps one of the greatest leaders we've ever had.
If you love him so much, what stopped you from banding together and freeing him?
Yes, why don't you all go in there and just kill him?
Not kill
Right
him.
now.
We're talking about freeing his dad. Don't kill the
No,
dad.
killing,
And at this, Lorgath speaks up.
A mob lynching.
If you all remember what I told you, even moving this far over the surface is quite the task for the average stone giant. I do it all the time, but I'm a bit different.
He's built different.
Yeah, I'm just constructed
Or tough.
differently.
And so, this is not a task that these fine people here can do. And in fact, if they were to leave for long periods of time, Varafal would know.
So, you want us to go into this unknown prison that may or may not be within the Underdark, free your leader, and then we just wing it afterwards. Does that sound about right?
It sounds like they're trying to tell us.
What do we do if he's dead?
Agriac speaks up again. I have a plan. It just doesn't make sense to even tell you what it is until my father has returned to us.
Yeah, see, that's always a very good sign.
But listen, I, as the former heir to the throne of my tribe, know of many of the riches that we keep.
See, now you're starting to talk what my compatriots would like to hear.
And
Give us a more better reason to help.
And if
you got me,
can help us,
you sold
not
me on
only
it.
can I nearly guarantee you that the peace between us and the druids will be
We got peace.
will come back. We can certainly provide more worldly materials.
Okay. A bit of advice: the next time you
Start
want
with that.
when you want to invite people to your coups or revolutions, whatever the fuck this is, lead with that you're gonna pay them.
Not everybody's a druid.
I apologize. I do not do these things often.
I don't know
Well,
if
at least
that's a
we're
good.
getting
I don't
paid,
know if
Gordon.
that's a good thing or a bad thing. But so,
We doing a coup.
how far away are these Grey Peak depths from here?
Lorgath speaks. Not too far. I can lead you to him easy enough.
Is that not too giant far, or is that not too far for us?
Should we make camp here and go
That's
tomorrow?
a good question.
Or should we start now and make camp later?
So, Aralea speaks again. I understand that this may be a difficult decision for all of you to make. Varafal can be convincing, for sure. And so, obviously, we hope that you side with us. But
And if we don't,
that decision, if you do not decide to side with us, there is nothing that we can do. And in fact, we would understand. I hate to call it this, but this was something of a stone's throw for us. Just trying to see if this would work.
okay. Another
But-
piece of advice: if you ever plan on doing these ever again, if you bring in potential recruits, don't tell them flat out that, yeah, if you don't join, we're not going to do anything. Because then they're just going to... If they don't join, they can just go back, tell whoever you're trying to overthrow, Varfall in this case, and then you'd all be dead. So just keep that in mind.
Clear you don't do this often, but
Once again, don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
oh,
I've
boy.
seen your
Oh, boy.
compassion. I do not think that that's something that you would do.
You clearly don't know us at all, then. He's the bleeding heart, and I point over to Cliff.
Oh, yeah.
This one, and I point back to
Please.
Lear, reanimates corpses for fun. And at this Skelly. Where's Skelly?
Just more for fun, but it's also pretty fun. But
It's still
Anyway.
fucked up. Either way.
Control tide.
Yes,
You
you
said
control...
tomato, I say
we know you
tomato.
control time. You don't shut up about it.
but it's still respectable.
I
and
mentioned it
pretty-
as much as
pretty
everyone
nice.
else.
But
Pretty crazy.
we simply ask that you think upon our request. We hope that you make the right decision.
What time?
You are free to stay here tonight if you wish.
Yeah. What time of day is it? Ponder your
It's
orb.
night.
Tell me the time.
I've been pondering.
Ben,
I mean, he's always pondering
he
the
just
orb.
walks out. He just walks around with it,
And the orb of time says that it is night.
If only he had a staff he could have bought session 1 to place his orb of time into. So you
We could always go back to that.
I don't know if we can. We're getting a lot of sidetracked in these mountains.
I could go buy that staff and have 2 time warps. You know,
Why the fuck would you want 2 time warps?
So I could make a staff.
Would you would one be Sword Coast time and the other whatever the other side?
Yes, yes, they're both all different time zones.
Time zones. This one is says it's midday on the other side of the world.
And this one says it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I don't know.
It always says that though. I think that one's broken.
Hey, broken clock's right twice a day.
So, yeah. We're gonna sleep. It's been a long day. We'll discuss it, and then we'll give you our answer in the morning.
Thank you. We must return to the camp. In fact, we've perhaps been gone too long already. Lorgath will meet you here in the morning, and we'll either take your answer that we wish that you would give, or we'll return you to Varafall. Thank you for your consideration of our cause. And with that, they all stand up and very loudly move out of the cave as Lorgath leads them, presumably back towards the camp, leaving you all here with the bonfire and the rest of the elk and whatnot in the cave.
As they walk away, I just put my head in my hands, slowly shaking it.
Join me.
And I just say, "This is all your fault."
I walk over to Dorian and tap his shoulder and say, "Thanks for not letting them know what I did." And then I turn around and walk back into the bar.
I just groan.
So
You're gonna get us killed. You're gonna get us fucking killed. And then I'm gonna kill you wherever in the hells you go in the afterlife. I want you to know that.
I want you to know I appreciate
I don't fucking care
everything you guys do.
about your appreciation.
You chose to do
100
this.
gold is not worth this bullshit. And we're not even doing the job we were paid to do now. I don't know what this is. I thought we were just going to talk to some fucking giants.
They weren't paying us to do that. As I scream from the other side of the bar.
Oh, I know. I know. And now
We knew this before we left.
And now
you chose
we're
to help
in.
me anyway.
Just tell me, how do we go from, hey, there's some undead animals in the woods. We're gonna pay you 100 gold. Go deal with it. To going into a fucking crypt of a motherfucking zealot war god and his little minions. To helping.
Name's Bane.
To your fucking druids. Now we're in this goddamn giant revolution.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
I know
Listen to
you
the current
druids.
leader, and then tell them of the plan and see if we get paid for it, and try and garner peace that way.
I mean,
Good.
Do you
Somehow we are still following a breadcrumb trail of this black Igor.
It's like there's an invisible puppet master that is leading us on a train ride. I don't even know what a train is. Crossed everywhere. I know you have no concept of what money is, Lear.
No.
But I'm going to tell you, 100 gold for all of that is a shitty fucking deal.
Oh, okay. I can put it in perspective. You know that health potion you were given?
I don't know why you guys chose to come with me. I asked, but you could have said no.
We were kind of put into this group
And
to
I was ready to
deal-
leave it with this, but
You're the
you guys are
druid.
more than welcome.
You know more about these fucking animals than anyone else does. We kind of need you.
Well,
You know
just
I'm
know
always
that
on
in
your
turn,
side.
Yeah, this idiot would have followed you, so that's 2 down.
well, in turn, just know that I will help you guys through anything.
Oh.
After this, this is a debt beyond payment. This is.
I get up, I lean in his face, and I intend to collect. And I walk away.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know that. That's what I just said. I don't understand.
You hear a scream.
Lear is
A primal scream of anger, frustration.
And it echoes throughout the cave, like.
And it's
And
this
you
loud.
Hear it not once, not twice. You hear it 3 times as it echoes throughout the cave.
I mean,
Think of, what's his name? I don't remember the actor's name, but Aragorn from Twin Towers, where he kicks the helmet and breaks his foot.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
I get to add Giant Slayer to my resume now when people try to hire me.
Hey, Doran,
See?
you want to
There's
pawn him
pluses
at
to all
war
this.
for a little bit? It will calm you down.
Sure, give me your orb.
I hand him the
Just throw it off the cliff.
I throw it.
He hands you the
second he
time.
hands it to me, I throw it.
Do you chase after it? Do you chase after it, Novus, as it rolls out of the towards the exit of the cave?
I cast Mage Hand to catch it.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Easy enough. You do so.
bam!
And have it bring it back.
A spectral hand catches the orb.
Doran, I was just trying to read. That wasn't very nice.
It wasn't supposed to be.
Why are you so mean to me?
Why are you so mean to me?
What?
Remember,
Just look over at Cliff.
Fireball.
I'm sorry I brought you into this.
As you say, remember I cast Fireball, you just see the shadows all around the cave start creeping towards you.
They
And I
wiggle.
just look at him and I'm like, hey, my only friends.
They start crawling all over you.
This tickles.
Crawling in.
My scam! Okay, stop. You're gonna get me DMCA'd.
Oh,
We get like 30 seconds.
that was 10.
You know, that
Yeah,
was...
we need 30 seconds.
That was so bad, they might not even be able to pick it up, so...
Probably not.
So I have nested down in a huff, back turned to all these fuck-ups.
All right.
Guys do.
Sorry I brought you
Party
into this. Cliff.
turmoil. Whoa.
Alright, man.
All right. So
None of us knew it was going to be like this. And as long as I get back to my family, I really could not care less.
Death flag! That's 1.
all right. I'm writing that down.
What?
Don't worry about it.
What'd you say?
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not going to be able to think about anything else. What'd you say?
He said death flag or something.
Oh,
You mentioned your family, so that's a death flag.
I gotcha.
The guy that always talks about his family or the girl back home, he's gonna die. So each time you mention your family, that's another death flag.
When you hit 6, you die.
Make sure you get back home, Cliff.
I can't die because then Lear's going to have to take care of my family, and I don't want that.
I'll make sure you get back to your family.
Don't worry, you'll be
One way or
reunited.
another.
Oh, he's gonna take care of him. All right.
You'll be reunited sooner than you think.
It is the circle of life.
Figure this out.
We're going to have a new Skelly, guys.
Yeah, I know. A little thicker than.
Wow, he was
regular.
telling the truth. He was just big boned. Look how fat that skeleton is.
Walrus tusk.
Alright.
Yeah.
Long
All right.
rest,
Any other
long
conversations
rest.
amongst yourselves before you drift off to?
Not with me. My brain cells can't take any more of these idiots.
Long rest, long rest.
All right. So
stay
you all hunker down, pull out your camping supplies and whatnot so you have something to lay on in this cave. It's rather warm because the bonfire that was created by giants, and so it was made to keep giants warm, so it's definitely keeping all of you very warm. So, very comfortable. You can hear the blizzard outside, but you're safe from the elements for the time being. And so, as you drift off to sleep, Doran, there's something keeping you up. You feel that warmth again, and you hear the familiar whispers of seemingly your sword itself speaking to you. You have fed us with the blood of the strong.
Oh.
You have done so. And for that we grow stronger. And Doran, given that you have fed your blade with the blood of a stone giant, you feel yourself through the night. You've become progressively stronger. You feel like the promise that you were made has been fulfilled. And you can add another Eldritch Invocation to your list.
Ah!
Oh shit, man.
See,
and everyone else.
Just have a patron. It's so nice.
And everyone, you can take a long rest, and knowing that you must make a very perhaps difficult decision on the next day, one that will perhaps shape the future of the stone giants forever. And that's where we'll call tonight's session.
Ooh.
Or
I'm just gonna take the Eldritch Adept feat, DM, and just do it that way.
That works. Whatever gets it on your character sheet doesn't really matter.
Nice.
elbow.
And that's an easy way to do it, because if you ever get on another one, for example, you can just, I think you can take that feat multiple times.
Yeah, I think it stacks. Let's see.
All right.
But
Ooh.
I think that was a good session. Nice way to bring in the new year. Session 13's in the books.
Lucky number
God,
13.
fuck you guys. These words it cannot heal.
I hope this is your patron. Something like this.
I mean, big thing.
I guess
obviously.
I have to kill you. How'd you find out?
How's that for not railroading you? You have choices to make. How about that?
Yeah,
You
yes.
get to choose.
We have
The diverging path leads to one.
Yeah, we have our choices are so good here. We have the tyrant that we can't trust for shit, that definitely will backstab us, or the idiots that have no idea how to do a coup.
Yeah, it's almost like there are pros and cons to both.
Sounds like a side quest.
Lear wants to just, Lear's just one to. He wishes the same, Doran.
Like,
He wishes
I felt like Dorian should have been losing points in intelligence during that entire conversation.
Probably Lear gave up halfway. He's just like, no.
I mean, no, the good guys are idiots. No.
I'm just thinking, why can't we poison his witch's potion?
My character is an assassin, canonically, in the story.
Couldn't you poison?
And even I was just like, I'm not even gonna offer my services to these people.
No.
Well, they don't want Varafal dead.
Well, he's gonna die.
Yeah,
They don't want that, though.
We're gonna. I don't care.
Yeah, he's just gonna hand over power, and it's gonna be rainbows and gumdrops. Thank you.
Oh, wow, you guys really don't like me that much? Well, here's the
Lear's trying
problem.
to figure out a way to eliminate as many stone giants as possible. So it makes it easier on the circle to take them over. Just something like that.
Oh, I see.
Thanks for
God.
watching History. We do this is weekly, so
Yeah, we try to do every Sunday. Every now and then we mix it up with, say, like a one shot or something like that, to sort of break up the monotony, or if one particular person can't make it. But generally speaking, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays is when we do this. So, yeah, I appreciate the compliment. We've been doing this for about a year or so at this point.
not this particular campaign, but just playing D&D.
Not this particular campaign, but like just playing D&D for about a year. I've sort of been the designated DM for most of that. Some people, when we do one shots and things, they, will rotate to give me a break. But I appreciate the compliments, and I'm just gonna keep trying to get better.
Would you like to read some of his comments during the entire fiasco that was?
Yeah, I didn't have the stream open for a lot of it.
Okay. So at the start, he's like, this character be like, I'm going to hold a secret meeting. I know where I'm going to do it. The exit to the camp. No one will ever figure out my plan. Then this sounds sus, even more sus in all caps.
Sus.
Gives me Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. That character does. I'm pretty sure he's talking about Cliff.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens with this revolt thing. They don't seem to have a very good plan, though.
They don't. They don't, do they? They do not seem to have a very good plan.
No, it's like
No,
they're
they
idiots.
don't.
Well, stone giants aren't necessarily known for their high intellect, but
we can just
they're middle of the pack, though.
No, yeah, I mean, but they're not like they're just like humans. You've got people that are very intelligent. You've also got those that
we want your help to overthrow this tyrannical leader we have. Okay, what's your plan to do with him? Oh, we're just gonna ask him when we get everyone together, and he's just gonna go. He's gonna just stop.
Through the power of friendship and diplomatic genius, we're going to convince him to just give it up.
We'll also have the old leader there, who'll also help.
But what if he does? But what if he doesn't stop?
The one that chose passes, but passes him the first time, he's gonna help.
I mean,
you're up there and be like, I refuse.
But what if he doesn't stop? What do you mean if he doesn't stop? Of course he'll stop. Why wouldn't he stop?
Yeah.
But what if he doesn't? What do you mean?
And that's why I wanted to give you guys a whole week to sort of maybe even talk amongst yourselves. I'm sure you guys have, since you've had it in the past, you have like some sort of
this campaign,
message group. But I mean, yeah, you guys are going to have to make a decision here that's going to mold the remainder of this particular arc potentially. So I wanted to give you guys until next session to truly make that decision and figure out amongst yourselves what you want to do.
Here's a little hint, DM. We're going to pick the side that gives us a level up. Whoever offers us a level up, they're the one we go with.
That's how you wrote it.
Offers the level up.
Now, I will say, Tyler, I will be missing one session a month, potentially. Depends on how fast I get back from the hikes.
Yeah, and if
really funny.
And if that's the case, then like I said, we'll just do one shots or something.
I'll let you know every month.
Keep lookout.
Yeah.
Where's that fucking
22nd, 23rd?
Of course he will.
Yeah.
He will bow to the power of hugs and friendship.
The ancient tradition. The ancient stone giant tradition of hugs and friendship.
Yeah, fighting's against our nature. Why do you have a tradition? Why do you have a tradition to overthrow your rulers at single combat then?
Well, if you remember, that's more of a giant thing in general.
Yeah.
Less
so
than
are these
just a
stone
specific
giants
stone
like
giant.
the ones from like the Never-Ending Story?
What is this, My Little Pony?
All right.
He wishes the writing was as good as My Little Pony.
All right.
A more violent My Little Pony.
I'm gonna leave. See you guys.
My Little Stone Giant.
Yeah.
I just went off this fucking mountain. Get me off this choo-choo train on.
How many bosses do we have at this point?
What's the ride on in Disneyland or Disney World? The mountain? What's it called?
Space Mountain.
Magic Mountain, dude.
Space Mountain. Yeah, get me off fucking Space Mountain, right?
We rode that, dude. That was crazy.
Pitting history. If
Good
you want to,
call,
I believe that Chaos Tim, i.e. Doran, in game, he's got VODs of all the preceding sessions. If you'd like to catch up, like we said, this is the 13th session, so there's a lot of prior stuff, but this was probably a pretty good session to just kind of chime in on because it's a little bit different than what we've been doing.
The Christmas special is not very good.
Yeah, don't watch the Christmas special.
Watch the break because it was super late.
Everyone was like so done after a couple hours.
Yeah,
we made the mistake
there's one episode where
shot.
I throw a temper tantrum because I'm a big baby, so don't watch that one either.
Yeah, don't watch that one. Yeah, watch that one.
No, actually watch it so that you know how much of a big baby he is.
Yeah, but if you are interested, if they're not on Twitch, go to YouTube and the same name of the channel, Chaos Tim. All the old sessions on there. 1 and 2 aren't on there because we weren't recording at those points. I'm pretty sure session 3 is where we start streaming.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know we hadn't done that.
Well, thanks for
thanks for sticking around. That's pretty neat. We stream these mostly for our own purposes. We like to have them that way we can watch them back later. And sometimes some really amazing moments happen during these games that we just like to capture in VOD. But it's really nice to have somebody that was willing to hang out with us for a few hours. So thank you. Have a good night.
Did Paul come in? That's probably a good place to start.
Paul Bunyan.
Hey, I'm Paul.
Polyphemus.
All right, the stream is going down.
Going down for real.
Not at all. You were not going to know.
No, I love it. I'm so happy.
Lucky number 13 is the one we get people watching.
You too, History. Have a good night, man. Or woman.
Yeah. Good night and bye-bye.